Welcome everyone to the final of the big final of the UCI Champions League. Of course, Iran was also important yesterday, but normally, considering what the most people think, Tour is the most important and at least the longest competition. So here tonight with me, I will have some commentators. Some are already here. Hello, Big Dog, Finn.
Good evening to everyone and welcome to the final evening of Champions League. I think this is indeed the biggest final of the entire tournament. Tour is always seen as the most important one, so it should be a fun night.
Will certainly be. Finn, hello.
Hello guys, welcome.
We also have our Moto 1 EMEA, and we have our Moto 2 Aquarius 97, and they are also going to be here with us tonight. And also, hopefully, Ruben will join us to a special comment, the track champion of this Champions League. So tonight we have a very, very interesting race. And thank you, Emir. We have a very, very interesting race and some interesting stages too. The Big Dog, first impression about the stages we are going to play.
It's certainly a very fun route for a tour. We have two summit finishes, which is always something that people love to not only play, but also watch. There's a sprint finish with some intermediate sprints that might help get some fight going for the secondary jerseys. And we have stage 4 that is going to be very interesting. It's one of those stages where you necessarily aren't going to win a tour, but you can lose it if you don't pay attention to everything that's going on in the race. So I think it will be a fun route.
Yes, I think it was quite interesting. Finn, what do you think about the choice of the organization of not putting a time trial in the final?
I think it's very interesting. We had time trials in the first 2 rounds of tour, and I expected a time trial in the final, but it isn't there. And the route is very interesting. We have a flat stage, so maybe we see some guys who are going with the sprinter to go on the stage or on the points jersey. And then we have the 2 other stages, which are obviously the most decisive stages of the tour, the 2 mountain finishes. And as Big Dog said, on stage 4 you can lose it when you not pay the right attention. Yeah, interesting parkour.
Okay, that's certainly interesting because we have of course we have 2 stages for the 83 climber, but we have one stage that clearly the person that chooses the 82 sprinter has advantage, and we have a final stage that could be both either to the hills guy or the 77 sprinter depending on how hard they play the stage. So that is going to be quite interesting, and I think people will choose different rosters. Do you think there will be differences, Sean?
Technically, I expect pretty much everyone to choose the same riders. I mean, we're talking about experienced players for the most here. 82 sprinter for sure. I would take mine. In that regard, I'd like to say that the organization, did very well in choosing an actual sprint stage. You don't see them that often in all competitions. Instead of the traditional time trial, this actually adds a very fun element, which is sprinting. Some people like to call it random. It isn't. So I would definitely take the 82 sprinter. It doesn't hurt, and in the mountains, it's only one guy that you lose, so to speak. So I would definitely take him for stage 1. And I would definitely work with a high pace on stage 4 to get my puncher train to win.
Certainly, also interesting. Let me say, Finn, I will let you speak. It's interesting that in tour, or at least in our tour, every rider counts. Something that will be different in the World Championships. So every rider counts in every stage, in every sprint, in every classification. I mean, that is very important, I think, because doing, for example, a 1-2 in the mountain classification can give you a lot of points. Finn, go on.
Yeah, to go back on the rosters, I think probably I would go with the 2 sprinters, so 82 and
Absolutely,
77.
yeah. I was already including the 77 by default because it's one of the mountain guys, so to speak.
Yeah, 72 climber, the 75 climber, 80 climber, 83 climber, obviously. And I'm not sure which I would pick for the seventh. No, we have only 6. I saw.
Yeah, it's 6. So
Yeah,
you choose the best 4 mountain guys, then you add the 2
Yes.
sprinters.
Yes, indeed.
So it's a pretty easy selection. And in stage 1, I would actually do, if possible, depending on race situations, a double train, and try and get points with both the 82 and the 77 sprinter.
Indeed, yes.
It's certainly going to be fun. We have here also with us Dennis and Frabo in the voice chat.
I'm here.
I know. Are you going to comment in Italian, Dennis and the man?
No.
Stay there, and I hope you have fun with our commentary. You can listen to it. Anyways, I will ask you to, of course, don't intervene because otherwise
I will intervene only if I notice something very, very important that you do. Because I know that the quality of not of you but of Finn, the comment of Finn, is not the max. No, of course I'm joking.
No, but if you only insulted Finn, so for me it's fine that you stay here. If you have insulted me, I would send you out. But
hello, Groot. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the 10 people already watching before we start.
Well, we want to beat yesterday's record of 30 people watching. We want more today.
I think it's going to be a good day for that.
We want at least 35. So people, spam this to everyone and tell us if we get more. Yes, okay. Emea, when you okay, as you can do it now if you want. No, do it now. Now pick. Okay, so fine. The trailer will go in the middle of the race. I was talking with Emea about that. It's not a problem. And we have also very interesting news regarding the World Championship. Are you excited for the start of the World Championship?
I'm hyped.
Oh, certainly, yes.
We are getting closer there.
It's like the climax of the season. We've all been waiting for it, working for it.
We still have 2 weeks to go.
Yes.
In the midterm, we have PCM Ita Cup Road, and we have PCM Spain Cup of Track, and we have some PCM World tournament, 6 days of PCM World.
Yes, Farmers League Track.
And also PCM Dumabdi organized something.
Yes, PCM Nomadic something. And I will ask only Fravo now, but only now, Fravo, your opinion about the profile of the final. Do you think the stages were well selected?
Okay, I don't know the stages because I watching this stage. I think
they are in the streamers channel, Frabo. If you go there, you will see them.
Okay.
I can.
So I think the first stage is quite good and could be a very interesting. Could be very interesting to watch if they will try to win with the 77 or with the 82 sprint. So it's very interesting for me, the first stage. Then the second, where is the profile?
Where is what, sorry?
The profile of the other stages.
I will send to you. Don't worry. I have so many Fravos that I cannot find you. Go on.
Okay. So the second 4 stages.
Yes.
Okay. And okay, the second for me, the second stage. Okay, I know very well this stage, and yeah, it's a very good stage to do. Maybe attacking. There could be attacks from the start, then trying to attack on the Gavia, and maybe it could be very big gaps. I think. Then the stage of Luis Abdiden, I don't think could happen a lot. And then in the last stage, I think I don't want to think, but I don't want to imagine, but the big chaos, I think.
Okay, we want a big chaos. I think that is the idea of Aquarius when he selected this stage and told me about it. He told me, I want a big chaos to happen. He's going to say by himself. Hello, Carlos. Carlos?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you now. Go on.
Well, I think you were talking about the final stage.
Yes, the final stage. Why did you choose the final stage?
The idea is that after already 2 mountain stages, in GC might be kind of clear to see who wins the GC or not. Maybe it's very close. But with a big climb in the middle of the stage and somewhat flattish end.
Carlos?
One moment.
Yeah, no problem. You will certainly join us several times during this transmission. We also have here Ivar. Hello, Ivar. Is silent.
The idea is that with the flat finish, I mean you can have it's likely easier to control for someone in a big mountain stage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where you know that you have to control some people, but in in a flat finish, and you may need to make alliances to attack the leader or whatever. And maybe it doesn't work, but instead of putting a different kind of stage earlier in the race, a stage that can shake up the general classification at the end.
Yes, certainly I understand that was your goal, and I expect from you all stage long as we approach the most important parts of each stage. I will now silence in voice chat and ask to the other commentators to do the same. Silence the people that are not commentators. So Dennis, Frabo, Ivar, Joe, and that for people would be enough, as they may
so as we prepare to begin, let's talk a little bit about the actual lobby and the participants. We have an interesting lobby here. I would like to point out some interesting numbers. So we have number 3, and number 4 of the UCI ranking in Joe Whiteley, Dennis, Ale Perret. I think they are some of the big favorites for the race. Then we have numbers 12, 13, and 14, Swagson, Jakub, and Tuanu. Tuanu might be a good outsider, British Swagson as well. Jakub has shown his skills over time. We have Ivar, number 16, who is also a good chance for an outside result. And then number 57 of the UCI ranking, Raul, which will most likely, shockingly, do a team attack somewhere in this tour. They all have some interesting road victories. Joe Whiteley has the most right now of the registered ones with 53, and Dennis has 45. So definitely Ale Perret with 34. Some great players here. Who would you say that you think is the big favorite?
Who do you ask? Sorry.
You.
Me. Okay. Well, I think I made it quite clear on the bets. I think the favorite is Ale Perret because he's probably the best player in the world, and that gives him a very interesting advantage, I would say, going out tonight as the main favorite. And he's certainly angry because of what happened yesterday, and he knows he wants to finish this Champions League taking a gold. And in that sense, I think he's probably going to go hard for it. But there is also another a disadvantage, is that everyone, I think, is conscient that Ale Perret is the favorite. And what is the problem with that? That people play according to their rivals. And if they know, it's different. How can I explain it? We saw that yesterday.
I'm sorry, let me just interrupt you for a special question. Do you think Ale Perret's consumption of paella this evening might be a factor that will interfere with the GC of this tour?
Sorry, the what?
Consumption of paella, as Joe Whiteley called it yesterday.
Okay. He ate paella. Okay. I think that's a secret that only a Spaniard can answer. Aquarius, go for it, please. I have no idea. Do you think the consumption of paella before the games improves your quality?
Well, it's difficult to say. I'm not sure.
We will see then.
Aquarius is from Madrid, so we have not that. Okay. We have a sentence question from Giusberto in PCM Ita chat. Did you make Frabo speak to make the organizers appearing more smart than the commentators?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I am a man of old tricks, and when you go on a disco, Giusberto, you go with some ugly friends, so you look more beautiful in comparison. You understand? So this is the same. We have Frabo here, so we look more intelligent in comparison. Part of the job.
As we start the actual stage with Ivar attacking with Christoph. I didn't see the other two. We'll wait and see. We have the 77 Sprinter, guaranteed, the 72 Mountain. I didn't see the others. Joe Whiteley joins.
Let me just tell you something, the big dog, that maybe wasn't unnoticed so far, but is important. The intermediate sprints of all the tour are before the mountains, in the mountain stages, of course.
Yes.
So we are going probably to have the 82 sprinters in the fight for the green jersey. However, people will try. I bet people will try to put the 77 sprinters in the break today, and that can make the difference. And there it goes. I think a lot of people have the 77 there. Toy Nu has the 77, Swagson has the 77, Raul has the 77. Same for Ivar, and Dennis brings the 82 guy. That's different.
You should look for 82 sprinters, not for 77.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about the breakaway, and in this case, Jakub also 77.
And that's why I'm saying you should look for 82 sprinters in the breakaway, not for 77.
Well, yes, I'm just commenting what I am seeing, and
I definitely think that working the actual stage for the 82 sprinter is actually quite possible while taking him in the break. He has a good chance of taking those intermediate sprints, and if well managed, to actually survive those climbs, especially if he's in the break.
The
I think
climbs
that
aren't
is playing the right game here.
Oh, we have here a clutch moment, guys. We have Dennis, Joe, and Raul walking on the front because they don't want to let Toy Nu or Swagson or Jakub go in with their 82 rider. But Toy Nu is also going hard. He's trying to put his 82 and, by instance, also Jakub's and Swagson's 82 on the break. Do you think he will manage to get there, or do you think the acceleration in the front will be enough to let Toy Nu, Swagson, and Jakub with no options there?
If they coordinate well, yeah, they won't get there.
I think they will not. I think Toy Nu's disadvantage is too big to get into the breakaway.
Specifically play to make sure that he doesn't come back. You don't know.
He's trying. There goes Laporte in, and there goes also Cavendish and Jakobin. No, they actually got there because they slowed down a bit on the front and they used the attack command to get in there. So it's quite interesting. Now we have a lot of 82 guys in the front, but we also have some people that didn't bring the 82 guy to the front of the race.
I think those that did played the best choice here because they have a better chance of making him win the intermediate sprints and rather get the end of the race.
Let me just really quick tell you something. Ivar didn't bring the 82 at all. He selected the team without the 82 sprinter. He thought that the 77 would be enough. Let us see if he was wrong or right on this pick. What do you think, Sean?
I think that the 77 sprinter can actually win the versus the 82 sprinter if someone is a proficient sprinter like Ale Pere, like Joe Whiteley. I'm not going to say if Ivar is or not. I haven't sprinted too many times with him, so I don't know if he's a good sprinter or not. But if he knows what he's doing, it is a bold bet, but it can work, and it leaves him more room to work in the mountains.
That's interesting. Carlos, your opinion?
With the situation of the intermediate sprints, I think it's very hard that a 77 can win the green jersey. I mean, you can beat some of the 82, but when you're playing against 82,
it's especially if, like I said, I don't know if Ivar is a very, very good sprinter. I've never heard that he was. I've never heard that he wasn't. But I know that unless you are really good at sprints, it's going to be really hard, like Carlos said, to beat like 7 82 sprinters. That's extremely hard. It's a risk. I think he's expected to have
risky. I mean, he's choosing to have a better domestic. At the end, it's the sixth guy in your team. Not very relevant when you can earn much points with your sprinter.
So we have some comments in the chat. We have Finn saying, sadly I don't have a girlfriend, but I have PCM, it's way much better. Well, we are here, we are people with the tendency of being here playing PCM instead of being with a girlfriend. So I don't know, Finn. I cannot give an honest answer to that question.
Well, I have a girlfriend and PCM, so life is good for me.
Okay, that's quite an unusual combination of things. So we also have Stino here saying, Gifiti, please don't shut your mouth. Don't shut
Speak a
your
lot.
mouth.
Speak a lot. He said, speak a lot.
Shut your mouth.
He said, please speak more. Thank you, Stino. I know you want to hear me more, but we also have here other intelligent people that can share their views in the situation. So
And Frabo.
yes, yeah, we have
Thank
also
you.
Frabo.
We love you, Frabo.
But we still love everyone that is around, and
think
we
we
approach
could try
intermediate
to-
sprint.
Ooh,
something
Stino's
we
saying
could
that's very beautiful, Gifiti, his words.
Yes. But we are approaching the intermediate sprint, so now we are focusing on the race.
Okay, let's see.
Rudy Barbier took the lead for Toinu. I think Toinu can put a big train here with both his 77 and
Roll on
82
the
guy.
attack.
No,
Roll on the attack.
attack by roll. That is not
What a
surprising.
shock. What a shock.
Raul
And
didn't.
Raul doesn't have the 82 sprinter, so he needs to.
And the water is wet.
Yes, Raul was the only one to choose to maintain his 82 sprinter in the peloton. Let us see if it pays off or not. I think it will not, because
It probably won't.
everyone is going really hard right now, trying to put their sprinter in the best position. Dan is in the right side. I see him very strong there. Let us see.
Very complicated here.
There goes Joe. Joe
Okay.
Whiteley takes the lead with Jakub. It
Yeah,
will be
so
between.
wait, we have Dennis on the right side, Jakob on the left side, and it's for Jakob, I think.
Yeah, I was just
Jakub
thinking. Should
ahead
be.
of Maclay,
Yes, Jakub.
Bonifacio, and Rojas.
Okay, so we have Jakob scoring the first points, the 15
With
points.
Stans in 5th place, and then a lot of British people.
Yes, Jakub takes just in the line, as Joe took only P2, unfortunately for him, and P3 was to Italian one. So Dennis, as I said, he was well positioned, but he maybe started the sprint
Wait,
too late.
look behind. Ivar has done the
Move.
intermediate sprint behind and attack with his 83 climber, trying to surprise everyone, and so far he's done it.
Oh,
Yes,
30 seconds advantage.
yes, certainly he is trying his hard to create the gap there, but I don't think Jakub will let him. Jakub has to.
Defeated, please look for our Reggie to see your personal messages.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Fravo says "fuck you," okay, and the big aggressive thing, yes or no? Okay, yeah, yes, okay. So there we go. We have a very interesting move by Ivar that now picks Tilia, lets Tilia drop from the group so we can walk and create a difference as we are approaching the mountain climb, and I think Joe Whiteley is going hard for it. Also Swagson. It's
Yeah,
only.
I mean, it's 2 points only.
The Brits
So,
are trying to compensate a
Should
little bit
fix
for what they lost in the sprint, but
It's gonna be
And,
Jakub-
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
no,
Jakub yet again.
Keno at the end.
I
Keno.
think
It's
Who?
Keno. I'm the host. I can see who wins.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
Keno
So
ahead of Kwiatkowski.
yes, that's interesting. When
Ivar has been caught, but look, split Alepere with his full team behind.
yes, Alapere now in a bad situation. He dropped his full team. Also, Toinu is with his leader behind, but I think he will let all the work to Alapere. And let us see. I think Ivar is not going to let him get back. There goes Ivar walking.
do we have context on how this happened? Why did he drop his team?
Yes.
We have gaps behind.
In,
What, sorry?
in this climb, some people catch Ivar, and a bit of a split was made, and Alepere got.
Oh, okay, so a gap call.
I mean, not that they attack or something.
Yeah,
Just,
there was
the
a gap.
typical split in
Yeah.
in a climb. There. I mean, I don't think he will have problems to come back, but it will be a tough time for him. I mean, look.
Let us see as we
Toinu.
approach the top of the third category, and I think Toinu is going to take it also, Whiteley. It's Toinu, I think.
Toinu ahead of Cummings and Keno in third place.
Yes. So Toinu, Joe Whiteley, and Swagson have quite clear that they want to fight to the
Alepere is
mountain
back
pass.
in the band.
the mountain classification with their 75-82 guy. Do you think this is a good idea, Carlos? Fighting with these guys, the 75-82.
Doing it during the rest of the race. I mean, taking points in these states won't be too relevant.
I think this is more of making sure that the dangerous riders don't take
why
those.
Why is Toino stopping his pointer? I mean, it's not very smart.
Well, the advantage certainly doesn't look very good for the breakaway, as Joe Whiteley is the one pushing.
This advantage is quite good for the breakaway. I mean, the breakaway is gonna make it. The big thing here is that some people have their secondary climber here, like it was Torino for sure. Yeah, Godou is here. Yates is here for Traction, and so they might get some time in the fight for 9th place in GC, which is not a big prize, but it's still some points.
Yeah, certainly it's still some points, and there goes Toino with a very good move, putting his man on the breakaway. That could really save him from...
I'm sorry to interrupt. We have road specialist Francesco Grassi here. If we could have sound of him, please. Replace Ruben.
Yeah,
hello.
I have
yeah, guys, sorry, I had to comment for Italian, I don't know. EMEA told me something like that.
I was told that you were going to be here because there is no commenting.
Okay. So, how is the race, you guys? Tell me.
Let me just tell that Joe Whiteley, no.
Yeah, Tosi.
Joe.
Oh, Jakob is very...
Tosi has taken the climb, and he will lead the column standings with 7 points ahead of Cummings with 6. It was Kenau with 5, and I can't remember who was with 4 points.
So the first mountain...
Bigger Moss, I can assume. But,
the first mountain jersey holder of this night is Jakob. So Jakob takes the advantage there, but it's certainly a very short advantage, and we have a lot of mountain.
Won't matter.
Who is Ale Perez man in E1?
Ale Perez was criticizing the comportment of the group when he dropped and the group accelerated.
I mean, we go back to this from yesterday again. I don't think.
Wait, Big Dog, wait, because Joe Whiteley.
Joe Whiteley and Joe Whiteley. 1-2.
1-2 for
amazing. Right now, the
people is left there. So McLeay, 35 points for McLeay, 28 for Dablowski, and 25 for Rojas after 2 intermediate sprints. So Joe taking some lead in this classification.
Yes, but
we'll need to wait for the sprint, for the finish, to know who has a better.
Can I have confirmation of who is Ale Perez man in E1? Because I think I missed that part. It's the sprinter, right?
Okay, Aberasturi, the sprinter of Ale Perez, dropped so much that he is on the group of EMEA right now.
No, I mean, he's complaining that you are carrying some guy from an Ivar, so he's doing the same, dropping into the other streamer group.
How he dropped?
Oh, there was a gap made in the mountains. There were 3 mountains in between sprints. Ale Perez dropped 2 guys he had on the break to help him, and all his team actually. I mean, it didn't work out. So he managed to place his 82 sprinter back in the front, and that's everyone he has to work with in the final sprint. 1 guy. This is going to be risky for him.
So we are approaching the finish line, 10 kilometers to go, and the breakaway advantage is certainly good, as we are going to watch the final sprint between all the 82 guys besides Ivar and Raul. They have no 82 guy here, and Ivar has literally no man here.
He dropped his guys.
Yes, he dropped.
I can see
in his attack, but
in the final. I guess
but
this
it's clean
is
from.
going to be a strange final.
No, from the corner we see now after this 5 kilometer barrier is the last one.
Okay, and may I take us to the front?
Then it's all straight.
Yeah.
Okay, the final sprint is
After
about
this one, it's all
we
sprint.
have launchers already doing their work. First launchers, second launchers will be on in 8 kilometer or so.
3 kilometers.
Here it is. Launches
3 kilometers to go. We see Jakub for the right side. He swags him for the left.
Oh,
Dennis.
second left, but it's Dennis taking the front, and we have
Too early. Raul versus them.
there goes Joe. Joe might take it. I don't know. Is this
Joe takes it.
No,
Joe might
Joe.
takes it. I think Dennis
Joe
is
ahead
second
of
and
Dennis.
Swaxon is third. Dennis and Swaxon. Yes, correct.
3-4. 3-4 to Swaxon and 3-4 for Swaxon and 5-6 for the others, as the group is sprinting too, and I think will be no time differences in this group. There will not be any time differences in this group, as the people. This is a quite an interesting result, and Joe Whiteley starts with the right foot and gets a win. That is very typical on him in a mass sprint.
I'm going to say that this is what I expected, mostly because Alaphera was down to one man only. It's very hard to work in the circumstances. You have to pick the right wheel and make sure that it goes well. Yeah. So Joe taking the win, Dennis doing a good sprint as well. Jakub mistimed it, ended up doing 5-6. Swaxon rounds up the podium. This doesn't shock me at all. I think that the Brits were some of the favorites for the sprints. Dennis also did well. So far, nothing out of the ordinary, except the situation with Alaphera dropping once more. We also saw this yesterday, so let's see how he responds in this evening, if he has more calm, more cold blood.
Well, GC is kind of irrelevant at this point, despite Maclay.
Yeah,
but it's 1 minute and 46 seconds for the two 80 climbers in Yates and Godou. That's sound.
Yates is from
advantage. No, from Swaxon.
Okay, that's
Okay.
those are precious seconds.
In the green jersey, it's Joe Whiteley now leading with 55 points. Second place for Jakub with 36, 27 for both Dennis and Alaphera with their main sprinter, and then comes Thwaites and Cavendish from Swaxon with 17, same as Sanz from Raul and Cummings from Joe Whiteley. So Joe has a big advantage.
I think it's a good
in this
start,
jersey, but
it's
very early.
Yeah, indeed, it's very early. I mean, it's a good start, but now he needs to not lose what he just got in the mountains. So it's going to be an interesting game here in this stage, because I think there's going to be attacks, attempts to create gaps. It might be a very intense stage.
This stage is basically the hardest of the final tour. So I guess if you want to make some gaps, you have to do it there.
I mean, if the stage is played like it's intended, I mean, this could produce big gaps.
Yeah, but we're all already having some tension in the lobby, so I expect this not to be played quite exactly as it's meant to be.
I mean, Raul is in the room. So
yes,
you can expect anything.
Exactly. Okay, as we wait for the beginning of stage 2, Joe Whiteley right now is in the lead, followed by, I think, Dennis and Swaxon, correct?
Yeah, Bonifacio in second place.
Swaxon did a 3-4.
Behind, 8 seconds for the Kowski, or whatever it's spelled.
Kwiatkowski, yes?
No, Dabkowski, not Kwiatkowski.
Okay, we go on with stage 2.
Yes.
Let's see when the hostilities will start.
Who put who in the breakaway? And if people are not happy with with that and chase that down or whatever.
Yeah, curious to see what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be shooting the first bullet.
So this is quite an interesting stage for long way attacks. And my
What the fuck
question
are you
is,
doing, Theo?
oh,
Gee.
sorry. I was not.
Gifiti going for it. Gifiti trying to take the actual prize. Gifiti.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
I didn't notice we were starting. My game was noobing a bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
If someone clips this,
For sure.
we'll have some fun with it.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, back to the actual cycling. Right now,
I'm sorry.
Who is
right
the most
now we already have
Sorry.
well,
the
long distance attack
secretary
from
or
Raul.
the one who's
Ivar and Dennis
losing?
joining the party, and there's Jakub as well.
Gifiti for tour champion of Champions League.
Gifiti tried his best, but
Yes.
it won't be today. But next year, maybe if he keeps this offensive attitude.
Yes, I will try
everyone
to play.
attacking, there won't be a breakaway.
Sorry. So this is the most close thing if it will come from a final. Well, yeah, no, I have a classics final. I don't know if you remember, Emea, Mole's final. So yeah,
You
everyone
are
is.
the only one playing.
Joanki was launching gates. Did I see correctly? Yes, he is.
Raul attacking with the 83 mountain. Raul
Yeah, of course.
attacking.
What did you
Raul.
think?
Oh shit.
It is Raul.
And the weather is wet.
I mean,
Let's get this.
I told you could expect everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Raul is always
I mean, it's even earlier than what I expected.
Clear just. Stop.
And 78. Joe's 80 mountain guy manages to join the break. This is the very.
I tell you who is in the breakaway.
Yes,
his
please.
secondary climbers. I mean, I see Godu again. I see
78 from Joe.
Simon Yates from Joe, Adam Yates from Swaxton has just arrived. Poliansky from Jakub. Well, obviously Raul's full team. Well, Raul has just fucked his own breakaway by doing that.
I think he certainly has, because no one will collaborate with him as he goes in the break now.
But I mean, he's not following himself while working, and
I guess
no one is gonna
this is
close
going
the
to
gap for
cost
him.
him some time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if people have realized that Raul is with his full team in the front. I mean, and that's what Arepere is kind of complaining in the chat, that basically people are not caring about Raul.
I mean, I don't understand what he's doing.
He's ever taking every time.
Now? Okay, now he
Now Ivar.
I guess this is
I
the
think
most
that not
sense.
everyone has the same reactions or the same speed of reaction, so I guess it's normal. That's why people try to do these sneaky effects.
And if there are some smart people playing here, and I think Alper is one of them. I mean, those who are attacking right now, I mean, Ivar and Jakub, have already lost the stake.
There is also Ivar with his whole team on the attack.
Yes, he's trying to join the attack.
With the sound behind.
This is a really, really late decision to attack by Joe, but I think he can still make it there. He's trying. Also Swaxon trying to put 83 Mountain in the front, and that will damage Alapere.
Dennis,
also Dennis. So
yeah, I expected this given what's happening in the race and the way it's being attacked. Someone would try and do this.
Yes, we have Raul's 83 Mountain in E1.
Tuanu as well, going for it.
Risking to go out of contention here.
Everyone trying to
come out of this better than the other. They are not making any efforts with the climbers.
Is Dennis's climber there as well?
Yes, he's with Alapere.
Oh, that's.
I guess they're risking to go out of contention.
They are going at their pace. They don't want to spend too much, and this is quite a conservative move by both Alepere and Dennis, not reacting.
They know that the terrain is already going steep. That's their advantage, in which they can recover easier. They have the better technique for it, so that might be an advantage for them.
I mean,
There
for
is an
now,
intermediate
Climb
group.
plays a lot of role.
In theory, this will come in favor of Alepere and Dennis later, but
Yeah.
they need to catch the group ahead of them.
Yeah.
Well, they are doing it now. Rojas is just putting the difference down to 20 seconds, and he's almost there. It's just a final push, and they will be back on the group. So that is probably a lot of bars saved by both Alepere and Dennis there.
Yeah, they made it.
I mean, but if,
Oh,
if
new
Alepere
cut,
wants to,
new cut, guys.
Yeah. There's people pushing from all sides. Try and
it's Jakub and Swaxon. But
Swaxon and Jakub are
Jakub with his whole team.
they are trying. There goes Swaxon. This is a clutch move. Also Jakub. They are trying, but now is Alepere working on the peloton as he is back there, trying to reduce the gap. And this is going to be interesting. As in the front, still Raul holds with 4 riders. 5 riders. No, he has all the riders, but one is almost dead. Yes, but Aramburu is almost dead, I think. So they are going to try to go to the top of Passo Gavia with the biggest advantage they possibly can get.
if they can work together here, everyone that is with Jakub in there, this might be a very interesting move. Let's see also who will help Alepere. I see Joe there.
basically everyone who isn't Jakub and Swaxon.
Yeah,
and Raul,
exactly. I mean, everyone has to go.
And I mean,
Ivar
if
as well.
this keeps, I mean, Joe is now working with Swift.
Yeah, I'm surprised
but
Ivar isn't-
and Dennis and Toinu, they shouldn't just give a free win. to
I
the
don't
other.
understand why they are not working. Why only 2 people are
Well, I
working?
mean, they have their team ahead, so they may not have
oh yeah. Oh, that's
riders
alright.
right now
I didn't see that.
to
Yes,
work,
right.
but still, they should
Yes.
put one.
I think I think Toinu and Dennis are saving their guys because they think, okay, we have people on the front, but that's definitely not a very good mentality because their people on the front will be irrelevant if they don't bridge this difference.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like the old tactic of let me save as much people as I can, and then I'm not going to use them properly, or if at all, because there's a big climb coming.
Of course, this is not fundamental. This is not decisive, but
I mean,
I would say that
I mean,
this is what
actually,
Ivar
it
is
could be
doing.
for the benefit to that their helpers are as much away as possible before Gavia. But with so many 83 kilometers in those groups, well, you have to re-evaluate your strategy.
I don't
Let-
understand what Ivar
Well,
is doing here.
Jakub versus Cavendish versus Bonifacio and McLean.
Oh, and there goes-
and it's
there goes the yellow jersey.
Cavendish. I think
Is
it's
it
Cavendish
Cavendish?
who wins the intermediate sprint.
Can you check?
Yeah, confirmation that it's Cavendish wins the intermediate sprint.
So Swaxon takes the intermediate sprint.
McLean leads now with 65 points. Dapkowski 48, Bonifacio 42.
And there we have Ivar still not working. Still,
Yeah, I mean,
Let-
he's saying, I don't have full bars, but I don't think anyone has full bars at this point. I mean, it's impossible.
oh yeah.
I mean,
Let-
even Alepere or Dennis, who were much calmer, they don't have full bars. But
Yeah, but they have the
UCI,
experience.
who
to
has more
manage
bars, and this is a scenario.
Let me just really quick say something. The difference right now between Alepere's, Ivar, Toinu, and Dennis group and Raul, so between the leaders of both groups, is almost 3 minutes. This is interesting, at least. I don't know if this advantage will continue to exist in the top of Passo Gavia because it's quite a hard climb.
I think that the guys behind, if they play it cold, if they play it well, they have lots of time to recover in the following climbs. They have the manpower.
Well, Yes, but they need to be.
Yeah,
Yes,
they need
Carlos?
to.
Carlos?
No, what I was trying to say is that those who have riders ahead, sorry, mm, may have an advantage later if they can pass them
Yes, that
after
is also
Paso Gavia.
true.
I mean, those whose leader is behind, but their helpers are ahead.
Yes, Toinu has the most strange race situation right now, as he has two important riders on the front, but not the leader, while both Swagson, Jakob, and Roll have the leaders on the front. And we have.
And now we see that they are facing to try and close that gap, start to close that gap immediately in this climb.
Also interesting is that Raul is reduced to 3 riders. He only has his 3 best mountain riders. It's everything he has right now. So I don't know if that was the smartest choice. As
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Well, I mean, for sure, after Gavia, you won't have more than 2. I mean, maybe if you play this very great or they, I mean, maybe Visconti can pass after Gavia for them. But I don't think more punchers will be able to
Yes,
be
yes,
after
the
Gavia.
line is too hard. I mean, I guess Raul will be in clearly numeric disadvantage after Sogavia compared to Swagzon and Jakub.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they kept their riders better than him. Actually.
Yeah, they did a better management. This is why I said that Raul is not on the best position right now, because there's still 3 more climbs to come, and he might see himself with 2 bags too early.
Also, I want to point out that behind, they're basically in the same situation of people ahead. They have almost the same number of helpers.
Yeah,
so I guess for
it's
people
irrelevant to
behind,
have right now to have 4 or 3. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, what is important is the balance you have with them.
yeah, exactly. So it's going to be hard also behind to join people ahead. Also because I mean, now who is going to work? Alepere is working, but I bet he won't do all the
He's
work for
pacing.
everyone. So
I mean, he's pacing for himself, doing his race, which is what he should do by now, because there's no understanding in that group, and there should be.
that's true. But I agree on that because
Well,
I guess
yeah, that's
doing
very clear
at least
understanding. I mean,
Raul now has
in my opinion,
just
it's very
his
clear
two best climbers.
understanding.
Toinu attacks.
Only Alepere works and the rest run.
Just
Who
makes
is
sense
going?
for Kwanu to try and bridge because he has
Who's
men in the front. Let's just see if he doesn't waste too much energy doing this.
I
Has
don't know
he
if
done well?
this is a smart move.
Yeah, it's very risky here. It makes sense, but it doesn't mean it's gonna work well.
Ahead, so
The
if
way
he can bridge
Dennis is
and
going to
have
have a
enough
good
bars,
situation because he should find his riders in the flattish part of Passo Gavia, maybe.
So as you see in the front, we have Swaxon and someone else with only 3 riders, but they just got to 3 riders now, so they had the chance to save their puncher a little bit, so he can get to work now. Maybe even if he dies before the end of the climb, he will have been more useful than Raul's one, for example.
Rolls is hardly reduced to a 2-man break. I know we all know he's going to pass with that 2-man in the top, but at which cost? Because he's probably
Okay.
now Swaxon is reduced to 2-man only, and Jakob too. So they have
I don't know what you expected. I mean, the punchers are. It's impossible that they can.
No,
Dennis
we
has
know
attacked.
that, but we know that, Carlos. But what we're saying
You
is
saw
that
the attack by Dennis. We didn't comment. Dennis attacked. Dennis
Oh.
joined the Visconti now
We have
with Pozzo
very much-
Vivonioli.
We have very much splits behind yet. Literally all are splitted with their own teams. We have no real groups.
Dennis
behind.
doing a smart play here, taking advantage. He used the man he had in front, right? He backed them up. If so, that was a very smart thing to do.
Let me just tell you something. Ale Perez topped the 75 rider and maintained him with the 72 for now. Now he's going to get
I mean,
past.
he's
And
going to
this-
try to make both his
Yeah,
riders
he's-
come back
he's risky.
in the descent. I mean,
Yes.
that's very
Oh,
smart. If
we
he
didn't
does-
talk, but
if
of
he
course,
thinks he's
Raul won the KOM, of course, with his 2 riders, first and second, third and fourth place to France won. So
Joe
Toinu.
Whiteley
And
was that Joe Whiteley with 3 men there, or was one from Swaxon? No, I think
Well,
Joe Whiteley with
Joe
3
with
men.
3.
Yeah, Joe Whiteley managed to
Yeah, I mean,
get his 3.
all of those. Ivar is also with 3 here.
Dennis is with 3 too, because 2 are on the front and 1 is on the Joe Whiteley's group.
Yes.
No,
Punta
I mean-
is not in this group, but because he chose to have him with his fourth rider instead. I don't know if that will work for him.
I doubt it will. 2 minutes. Yes, 2 minutes that he needs to cut down to get
I
his.
don't think no one will specifically work against that rider, but things may not stop in this group if Raul is not caught.
Well, everyone is back together again except Raul and Alaper's domestics. So let's see. Raul is not in the best of the places to be right now. He invested loads of energy in that break, and now just only 30 seconds advantage.
Well,
I think
Depends
Raul that
on what people choose to do now. If they try to attack,
Yeah, obviously.
he's in a much better place than everyone else. If people play this calmly and
and smart.
I think this is going to be quite an interesting climb, the next one, because maybe someone will try a long way move also in this flat part after the Gavia descent. We have now some kilometers of.
the race situation is favoring this move because everyone has multiple riders, so that kind of moves only work when some people are isolated.
Yeah.
If you have 3 versus 2, I mean you don't win anything by attacking. But
Yeah, and
if you
there's
are
3
versus
people
1,
working here right now. 3 versus 1, so.
The piece, EMEA says, tell guys attacking that there are other 2 stages. So yes, so sure, we have still a lot of stages to go, but they are trying their hard. And Daniel Miko said, who writes in PCM UCI? It's EMEA. PCM UCI says Daniel Miko doing Daniel Miko things. So yeah. And Miro Rivera is asking EMEA to watch A1, as A1 is Alaperi that reduced the difference from 2 to only 1 minute. And can he bridge it? Can he make it?
It's gonna be
And which bar and cost will have him for this move?
well, I can only assume that he chose that because he knew his puncher wouldn't pass in that group. Because otherwise, this is not a very clever move.
I think the big question here is if he manages to do it, will they have time to be useful in that climb? Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if he did, if he risked it well or not.
Well, it's going to be hard to say if they are going to catch roll now or just in the middle of the climb, but they are getting closer. Only 20 seconds now.
They're definitely going to catch him.
yes, I'm pretty sure
Yes,
they.
Raul is going to be catched and drop one of the next
Herrera has
Yeah.
bridged to the group.
They have a good chance. Who? Sorry.
Alapere's domestic has bridged into the group as Delio Fernandez died on the with
But Delia was just helping the puncher get there. So in that part, he succeeded. Let's see how long his puncher lasts compared to
I think Perry noticed his 75 was not going to the top, so he just stopped and waited for that guy so he could help to bridge and put Herrera back
the
in.
great idea. He had a really great idea.
Yeah,
So-
not that I hadn't talked about that just 1 minute ago.
Yeah. I know. It's
How extending his lead means he's
Because,
increasing his
next
pace.
climb can do a big difference because it's the steepest of the day. So having a fresher helper
Oh
is
yeah,
gonna help.
this is why I want to see how Alatere managed the comeback of his puncher and the energy that he has left because he's the first helper.
we are picking at 23 viewers, still not as many as yesterday, so please call your friends. If you have a friend that likes cycling, tell them that this game has nothing to do with cycling, but it's still funny. So call me also.
Great.
I think will be interesting to see if Raul can manage to maintain this difference to the
Terry
top.
increases the pace.
Yes, he does.
But
See,
Raul got
and
the bigger
Tuanu.
lead.
But
Raul got the
it
bigger
is-
lead for now.
Now they're. It's just positioning. Now they're giving some distance to roll. Try to
narrow
avoid
plan,
that
so
too much
you don't
enemy.
want
Yeah.
you don't want to be
There goes
behind in
Tuanu.
this.
Tuanu
Raul. Oh, attack by Tuanu. Attack
Yes.
by Tuanu. And Dennis is the one trying to bridge. The chat says Dennis is going to win. Both we have some guy called Leofolandri and also Push saying
Hello.
Dennis will. So let us see. Leofolandri, that is the world champion, but he is not in this final, unfortunately. For him, his first round of tour was miserable.
So, yes, we will speak about that later if we have some time. For now, we're watching Ivar also moving to the front. Let's see if he's going to try and bridge it by himself.
And he
just
said
tactics.
stop pacing Graffiti.
No, yeah, I'm not pacing. I'm putting relay at 60. I'm just maintaining myself in the difference, so I don't do the MA in first round and get out of control.
When you have multiple riders from real race, that's pacing.
Yeah, sure. We'll put them at 40. Don't worry.
Put them just at 50.
Just put them at maintain position. I mean, no need for nothing else.
So yeah, we are going to watch the top of Montepadrio as Raul will pass first and second.
Very interesting climb, I think.
How important is it going to be to Raul to pass first and second?
We have gaps behind.
So, Ivar joining Tuanu.
And
Tuanu and Ivar trying to open the gap with the Dennis and Alepere group, and there they go.
Oh, and Alepere, as expected,
Ivar
his domestic
and
first.
lost an helper.
Oh, Tuanu and Ivar dropped their domestics. Do you think people like Dennis will manage to get his domestic to the top, Aquarius?
I assume they are trying to do that.
They are trying to do that, yeah, I agree with Carlos.
Well, but apparently they won't.
No, yeah. Joe's one is that, Dennis one, I think.
And Joe attack with room.
Yes, and so everyone drops their domestic, and there goes
tunnel attack.
Raul passes first and second in the climb. Tuanu is third, Ivar is fourth, and Tuanu is also fifth. So this is quite interesting. Raul is going for the KOM. He takes first and second in both the most important climbs of the day, and he's probably going to take KOM. How important is it if he wins KOM and does a 1-2 in KOM? Carlos?
I think it's
a big difference between being in the fight for the medals or not. For Raul, if he...
First and second in KOM is 60 points.
I'd like to remind that it's not enough by itself. He doesn't want to make the same mistake that others did in the first rounds. Yes, having KOM is good, but he needs other points to back that up, or it's not enough by itself.
What I mean, it's a big push for a for a medal fight.
But he needs to not fuck his GC at the expense of getting KOM.
Yeah, of course. But by the way, it's Joe, Raul, Toinu, and Ivar, all with two guys in the front group, and Swaxon, Alepere, Jakub, and Dennis behind. It seems like Dennis is just ratting in the back group because
so the usual day at the office for him.
Yeah, I think
Alepere is trying to convince Dennis from relaying, but Dennis is not collaborating.
I think Dennis is also waiting on his domestic, that he's just 40 seconds back on the group and is trying to enter, and then he got an advantage
Maybe,
over...
But you let... you should try to keep the gap as close as possible to the front group, and then your third domestic will return eventually. But if you wait for him, you're losing more time that what you will recover with the guy.
Yes, waiting is not the smartest of option here. So because it won't be useful on the next climb, because if he was already dead on Montepadrio, I guess on Tirolo he will die again.
But he's desperately trying to get
has attack and join that group, and we'll see if Dennis works now with Visconti.
We have
Can
now.
assume he will,
There is
but
Conti can do
who knows?
not great help, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Alepere now understands the decision of Dennis, but Dennis is probably pushing too hard for others to follow him.
So basically,
Smartly.
we have now the groups probably going to merge as Dennis is pushing hard, but
Yes.
also Joe and Swatson are trying to put their domestics back on the group. Also
I mean,
interesting.
Mortiolo is coming up, and those domestics are irrelevant at this point.
It's not gonna happen.
Yes, it's not going to happen, but Dennis, so he has some kind of advantage as his domestic is still here. Not going to last a lot, I think, but he's still here.
He will be golden to help close that break, but he's about to die sooner or later. So
Swagson gets into the group with his domestic and joins.
That will be important. Because
Yep.
Struction also has to use his guy to close the gap to the front.
Yeah, indeed.
indeed.
The question is always the same: will people rat? Will people not help?
There
I
are
think,
always people that do that.
I think
One important question is if the difference at the start of Mortiolo will be enough for those who were ahead. I mean, Ivar, Toinu, Joe, who has suddenly stopped to the back group.
Yeah,
I've on the techno,
Yeah.
I've on the move at the front.
yeah, that might be a smart move for Joe to.
Ivar takes the lead.
But what I mean is if the yellow bar difference will be enough to compensate the blue bar difference that those who have attacked
Yeah.
will.
I don't
will have.
think those that keep insisting in this attack will end up well. Joe probably.
By the
did
way,
this-
Aleperi is trying to go before the big slopes in Mortiolo. We'll see if
Interesting
he has a gap.
move.
He has a gap, and right as the third rider of Joe, Blue.
Joe and Dennis follow.
Yeah, then he's trying to follow Alepere, and everything is back together. About we'll see if
We'll see for
further
how-
splits appear right now when people keep pushing. But again, the split.
Again,
behind Alepere and
we
Dennis.
have Jakub there in the back with Swagson. Pretty good place to be, but also a dangerous one if there's another push in the front.
There is almost a split,
Yeah,
and Jakub is going to
Jakub
seal
closes
it.
it. Jakub closes it.
Everyone
So-
with two guys now.
The ones that are positioned the worst in the group, or at least in the back, are Swagson and Joe. Why do you adopt the position of being back on the group?
It's a great position to be in. Saves the most energy.
But it's risky because if you actually drop, you use more bar than what you actually would have used if you had a normal effort.
So now it looks like a small gap is creating, but people are also dropping, so there should be no problem. But the Brits are a bit on the back, as Alepere is the one pushing. Why is Alepere pushing now?
Because
what is the color?
actually
Well, I can
he's
only assume
trying to-
he thinks some people might crack right now. But
And Raul cracked, I
second
think.
climber is out, so others need to do the work now. Well, a lot of secondary climbers are. Yeah, and there goes Bilbao.
Yeah, Raul. Yes, there goes Bilbao.
Alepere is going. Alepere is trying to
going
bridge a
with
gap.
5 kilometers to go, but people are already dropping their domestic. Raul, Swags, and Ivar, Jakub, everyone basically.
Everyone.
Only Dennis,
So why
now,
since everyone
not even them.
is down to one rider.
And there goes Joe Whiteley joins Alepere on the front. Can they make these two riders go on the top alone?
They
Here
have
in Moscow?
4 kilometers less than that to achieve that, and if they do, and if they work together in the descent,
Behind
might
that there is
have bars.
Marco.
If they have bars, they have.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have won, because they might not recover all in the next descent, and the final climb is also quite hard. But they will have a big advantage if they get over the top of Mortiolo with some gap.
Oh, but Swaxon and Tuanu desperately trying to close that gap. Let's see if they can do it in time.
And at the very least, it's clear that Alepere and Joe are collaborating fine.
Yes, they are
But
getting it.
Swaxon
Marco
is
is pushing really hard now.
Yes.
alone doing all the chase.
Yeah, that
He might
not
pay
be
the price for it later, but
Yeah, And
1 kilometer is almost.
Actually, they could bridge.
I have a structure. No.
They try to bridge.
Now,
but now the pace is increased by Joe, and they are going to pass in front. But there's already people
bridge.
All together.
just in time. Just in time.
Next to Tuanu.
Just in
Now,
time.
Well, yeah,
now it is interesting.
now it will be who has been able to have more bars.
I'm going to exclude that. This is just a prediction based on what I saw in the race. How
Eres un
Ivar,
pardillo.
I think, will be two of the first ones to drop in the final
Well,
time.
basically he's calling him dump because he basically sprinted to close the gap for everyone.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Alepere called Tuanu. How do you translate Pardillo?
Yeah, I say dump
translate.
because I don't know of a better
It
word.
is translatable, but not in a word that is an insult. So we pretty much call him a, I don't know, something like a dumb brick wall, because it's more of like a barn, but that wouldn't make so much sense.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a word that says like a bit dumb, but not. It's not aggressive. I think we are all waiting for the final climb.
The downhill,
Oh.
like someone did in the semi-final. Maybe he tries again.
So they have not a lot of flat part, to be honest. Now it's the only part that is not directly downhill, and that goes.
So Whiteley attacking Ivar
Oh, and Ivar.
full, sir.
Jackson attacks. Also, this could be a decisive move, but Alepere is
This
determined
indicates
to
confidence
close.
in their energy bars. Let's see if they're doing it well or not. Let's see if they're right or not.
Alepere calls collaboration from Dennis, but Dennis is giving no relays.
Dennis always playing the safest he can, and then he goes when everyone is.
Well, I don't know if I'm quite sure if Alepere worked in that situation is because it didn't cost him any bars. But the thing is, Ivar, Joe, and Swaxon, have they lost any bars in that move?
We'll see.
I think they have, and there was Alepere.
Oh, and it was Alepere.
And
And
Swaxon trying to follow. Yep, those two go, and
Alepere
basically
is spending
and basically
a lot of
no one follows. I mean, I think Alepere knows he has a bars advantage over others because of the
9.9
flat bars in the
kilometers.
start.
No
And-
one is collaborating, just pacing at their own rhythm. 29 seconds, 30 seconds.
Actually, if they don't do some good pushing, it's going to be Alepere versus Wagzon.
Oh, Joe is in the razor's edge right now.
Ivar thinks
Then he's
they
going.
have
Then he's
already
going.
won.
Dennis has attacked, and Ivar tries to follow. Toinu, Chu, Raul, Jakub, and Joe. The thing is, if they don't continue to pace everyone behind, Swaxon and Alepere have already won.
Yes, and Dennis tries to break the group with energy moves, with trying to let Ivar and Tuanu down, but they will not let him. Dennis certainly has ratted a lot during the stage, and they are.
He's trying to use the energy he saved right now where he needs it. Just let's see if it's going to work out for him or not.
Dennis asking for relays. What's a classic? And we are certainly having such a classic part of right now, and Dennis is trying to bridge. He's trying to bridge, and I think he will manage to do it. Maybe it's
No,
20
he's
seconds.
going-
He's broken
he's
away
alone.
from the back group, so now he doesn't have anyone in his wheel and has.
Oh, and there he goes,
really-
joining.
He's gone.
5 kilometers to go. Either they close it now or they're not going to be able to.
Wagzon is pushing, trying to drop again. Dennis.
Oh, someone leaving out behind him. Who's going on E2?
Ivar is going.
Ivar. Oh, I don't like Joe's positioning. It might indicate that he spends too much effort.
No, I
and-
guess he's trying to recover, maybe.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
He's just
Yeah,
trying
he is.
to
He's
not
trying not to
spend
spend too much to
energy
effort
for-
again. But
3 kilometers.
it's.
Toinu
it
is
might-
coming up the front now.
Oh,
I think both
Ivar
Alepere
attack
and
and immediately they drop.
Jakub is bridging.
I know what Joe is doing, so it might be risky if he doesn't make his move on time.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I guess now
there goes Swaxon. There goes Swaxon. That's this.
Powerful attack.
I
Power.
think this is going to be it.
I think no one is walking behind, but I think still that Alepere and Dennis will take him in
Yeah,
the final. in the final meters, and there they go. Alepere with Jakub actually on his well.
Oh, and the others drop.
Jakub
The
is
others
moving
are
from
going to lose a
Alepere's
lot of
wheel.
time.
I guess he took like the fall.
These
Alepere-
5 will fight for the general classification as the other 3 are completely out. So these 5 guys will try to fight, and Swaxon is the
Alexander
one leading.
sprint. Dennis, Alepere, Swaxon. Let's see who gets it.
Swaxon is
It's
winning.
for
Swaxon is
Swaxon.
winning.
It's for
It's
Swaxon.
Swaxon.
GG Swaxon.
Yeah.
Wait.
Second English win of the
wait.
night.
No, it's for Swaxon.
wins.
Swaxon.
And then
Alepere
third
takes
for
P2,
Dennis.
Dennis takes P3, P4 for Tuanu, and P5 for Jakub. As the others will lose 40 seconds, Joe
50
Whiteley.
seconds, 50 seconds. 40 seconds for Joe, 40 something, 50 for the others.
50 seconds to both Raul and Ivar, as Raul had still a lot of buzz apparently.
I don't think so, no. Obviously
P-
not. Not shocked.
P9 will be for probably Tuanu at the general classification level, as he is the one that is best positioned. There he goes.
Emma, take us to P9, yes.
And P10 in the general classifications will be still for Swaxon, as he's going to cross.
Oh, yeah, no, Simon Yates is Joe. No, it's Dennis, that was P10, actually.
No, it's Adam. No, but it's Adam Yates, because Adam Yates has
because of the difference.
defense.
Yes, then it's Swaxon. So let's see how this... now we have 3 guys that are pretty much out unless they do something on the next stage, and it has to be something big.
By the way, now look at possible gaps between Alepere Swaxon and the rest of the front
Yes,
group.
we have to expect to see
Probably
that.
if the... I mean, I'm quite sure there will be gaps awarded, but...
I'm 100% sure.
never know with
99
PCM. I mean,
Swaxon.
some stages sadly don't give gaps or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I want to see, because that might save the day
But
for
being
Storm.
an EMEA stage, I'm confident it will have a time gap because it's exported in PCM 2020.
So it was certainly an interesting result, as the riders that were dropped are now approaching the line. I think they all will inside the control, yes. So there will be no big problem. And we have a very, very interesting general classification. Let us see if there are differences between the top 2 and the 3rd, 4th, and 5th general
That's the
classification.
big question.
We are waiting for Jakub's sprinter to come home.
That's the big question. And
He came on time,
6
so
seconds,
everything is
6
fine.
seconds awarded to
Yes.
Nibali, Pinot, and Maika. So Geraint Thomas now leads the overall classification by 2 seconds over Bilbao, 10 over Nibali,
6 seconds for Dennis, Tuanu, and Jakub.
12 over Maika, 12 over Pinot, 46 over Froome, 55 over Landa and Foss. In the
Yes,
front
Landa
standings,
still takes
Mikel Landa leading with 44 points, 38 for Pinot, 27 for Geraint Thomas and De La Cruz, and 24 for Bilbao. So Raul with the lead there, and Toinu in second place. Joe
Yes.
third, but Joe being out of GC might mean that it's irrelevant for him. In point standings, it's, well, basically as I told in the intermediate sprint, Joe with a 17-point lead over Jakub and 23 over Dennis.
Yes,
Raul
that-
is the mountain, but it's not enough for this GC.
No, and Raul certainly needs a better place in GC if he wants a medal, even if he leads the mountain and also has the 4th place in mountain. That also gives some points. Actually, 3rd, he's tied for 3rd.
Lose
So-
that, then will be to the decisive stage. Everyone who is behind has to do something here, right now.
Of course,
the
they
combo
will.
Aspen Tourmalet Luz Ariden. I mean, it's a very common combo in PCM. Of course.
Yes.
I mean, it was already in the inline final, but in a different stage with more climbs. But here for the sprint for the green jersey, we have 2 intermediate sprints before any big climbs happen.
Mhm.
So it will be where that jersey is defined.
Yes, it will certainly. It is
if
certainly
actually-
going to be there. And let me tell some comments we had in the chat during the final, the end of this stage. Emea said, Swaxon pacing for Alepere, lol. Clearly, Mr. Emea has no idea about PCM as we expected, as Swaxon won the stage. He was not pacing for Alepere, he was pacing for himself. And Hush says Tuanu is the GOAT. Unfortunately, Tuanu didn't got so lucky in the final sprint, but it certainly is inside the general classification fight. Also, Miro was laughing at Dennis, saying he was ratting. That's we all know Dennis. It's always the same. And Miro says that he dislikes the next stage because only Raul can make it fun. Well, Raul will team attack. We all know that. We were just expecting the moment he's going to do it. Okay, and
We have to see how Swaxton can control this stage. I mean, Alepere will surely collaborate because he's not stupid and fall into the only yellow can work shit because he's 2 seconds behind. I mean, it's irrelevant who has the jersey at this point.
okay, I'm going to.
Gifiti.
I stopped my rattles already. Don't.
No, not that. Gifiti, we are expecting the trailer at any moment to be given to our Moto man.
Oh. It says after this stage, says Emia, no problem.
Yeah, but it will as soon as you can give it to him because it was meant to be before this one.
Okay, but I don't have it. And,
okay, I'm trying to get it, and as soon as I can, I'll give it to Emia. I thought you would have it by this point, but I'm already resolving the issue.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Solve the issue then, and tell me when everything is ready. Well. We are going to approach a stage that, as Carlos said, there's a very decisive moment before the climbs that are the intermediate sprints. Do you think, of course, Raul will team attack with his full team? There he goes. There he goes.
I mean, he's not even waiting anything. But probably, and Joe too. Joe is going with Froome too.
Oh yeah, and Swaxton also attacking.
I don't know if that will work.
It is surprising. Yeah,
Swaxton is
Swaxton middle.
Thomas in the front group. Well, this is purely.
Finn, was that you?
Unexpected.
What?
Finn?
No, it's me.
Oh yeah, so we can finally listen to you.
I'm finally there. I don't.
Room goat.
I don't do summertime. It's bullshit. So.
Of course, we give our warm welcome to Champions League track champion
Ruben.
Ruben, welcome.
Well, thank you for the honor to be here to see this road specialist play.
So, Ruben, I welcome you, but I know you are getting some classes now on South Europe culture, so you already were 1 hour late. So yeah, I guess the classes are working. Be welcome and feel free to comment everything that you want as we see a team attack by Swaxton.
Interesting. He's in Adidas jersey and attack.
And some problems.
Response to my message in Discord.
Alapere dropped with Dennis because they didn't attack. They didn't drop. They simply didn't attack, and they are going to do exactly the same as they did in the last stage.
It seems like everything is together. But E1, I think Swaxton had his.
Again, we see.
I think Swaxton is in the wheel.
Last week. Stage.
Yes, Ruben, but in this case it's all merged, and
it's all merged again.
Alapere is trying his hard to put his mountain leader back on the group, and he's spending his 82 sprinter. That's interesting. Yeah. Alapere has no objectives with his 82 sprinter.
Well, he probably has, but he just got surprised at the quick start. I think.
Okay. Thank you, Finn.
But now everything is together, so the 82 sprinter can recover normally. Question is though, we probably will see attack soon from the people lower in GC.
I think Raul will be one of the first to attack again. I know his style of playing, and something we cannot accuse Raul of is incoherence.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to remind our viewers, stick around because after this stage we will be doing the debut of the World Championship trailer.
Yes, the World Championship trailer will be here with, and we are going to show you why should you participate in the World Championship. So please stay and subscribe to the World Championship. It will be organized by PCM North, so a very experienced community. They have almost 8 months organizing tournaments. So yeah, there you go. and you can for sure have fun with us there. Yes, Swaxon, I remember you speak Spanish, don't you? Clear Spanish, yes. Okay, as usual, the British are complaining because Alapera is speaking Spanish. Yeah. I think Alapera's moments are really making this World Championship, at least the shots of the World Championship, more animated.
I mean, we all know as soon as heart rate of Alapere goes above 160, he will start speaking Spanish. But
yes, but
I mean, he's just speaking, but it's not something that needs to be understood by others. I mean, I don't know if I explain myself. I mean, it's just shit talk, but not something the others are meant to take serious.
yeah, I mean, it's all fine.
Even if, for example, when Alapere told Spanish, I understand everything, but I think that's because I'm Italian, so I guess there are some similarities with languages. For example, I don't think Ruben understands Spanish.
Yeah, I think Ruben is quite dumb, and his IQ is
you
really low.
You should all start. Well, Raul going again.
Yeah, there he goes, and it's again. Is it Joe or is it? Yeah,
Yes,
it's Joe, right?
Joe in his wheel.
Yeah.
Joe is in his wheel because he wants intermediate sprint.
This is not good for all again.
And Swaxon again pacing down.
Swaxon doesn't let Raul go anywhere, and there goes Raul again. We are.
I mean, he's still within a minute in GC, of course. So.
Carlos.
Wait, to explain Alepere's comments.
I mean, for Raul, my opinion, the best stage for trying ultimate attack is the next, because actually it has some uncommon route. Here, I guess the race is almost easy to control, because the route is simple. I mean, there are 3 big climbs at the end, there is some flat, but the next race is the most uncommon, so I guess someone can attack there.
Carlos, you've played with Owl probably more times than most of us. Do you think that he is aware that these constant attacks will eventually screw him in GC, and he just likes to risk it, or?
Well, he just don't care.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he could play normal, thing, right? But he can't. He's unable to do that. And honestly, when you are really trying that,
there Joe goes.
It's still. I mean, if you try those 10 attacks, once you have done one, you need to insist on that to keep doing that, because you have already less bars than the others doing that.
Yes, indeed.
So he needs to win by attacking. He can stay on the band, because when he does it once, he's forced to keep doing that.
Okay, we have a group for the intermediate sprint, unless
Swaxon will try to control, I think.
Probably Raul should be trying to do the attacks with more calmer approach. I mean, like the typical put some guys in the front group and then attack when there's a logical time to attack, not 200 kilometers away from the finish.
I just want to do a quick segue into responding to EMEA. It's obvious that Daniel Nico is supporting his teammate Tuanu.
We are watching.
Trying to get.
Joe kind of slept there in the screen.
I think this
he has a trick guy trying to.
He has plenty of time, and
there are corners in this.
Let's see if you have to now, Dennis. Oh.
It's so much turns that's
terrible.
Jakob takes points.
Okay, so we need to wait after. Well, Raul is attacking in that speed.
Terrible.
75, 68 points for Dabkowski, 57 for Bonifacio.
So it's a really now we have Joe still on the lead of the point chassis, but we have Jakob way closer, and also Dan is getting a bit closer.
Raul has attack in intermediate sprint.
I think Joe could have done something better there in that sprint.
He just timed it too early, and then
and then when he tried to fix it, it looked like he was gonna do so, but it was too late.
Well, yeah, in his attempts to try to fix it, he just went too early, it seemed.
Yeah.
A bit.
So the corners were much tighter than they were, and his rider would slow down and save bars. And at the end, it wasn't like that, and that's why he didn't have enough red bar to win the sprint, in my opinion.
Big
Now
miscalculation there.
Raul is on the front group, what means Swaxen is walking again. He knows he's the leader and he knows he has the responsibilities, and there he goes after Raul again. He doesn't want to give an inch to Raul to escape, and we are going to probably have the groups at least, I don't know if merged, but at least closer as we approach the second intermediate sprint.
For sure, before Aspen, he's not going to catch Raul.
No, he's working alone, of course, and all sprinters in the first group have teammates.
It's the best thing to do for him because Raul is not a big threat on GC as long as Swaxen can control the distance, and then when the actual
Swaxen has just to make sure the distance isn't out of control.
Yeah.
That Raul is going to be ahead for some time, and the important moment is that after Tourmalet, he's not ahead of the group.
10 kilometers and 500 meters, we have 57 seconds advantage, and we are going to move to E1 to see the second sprint that is about to happen. Let's see if Joe can fix things in this one, or if Jakob can actually take the green jersey's lead here.
As Swaxen,
I can't remember if there was a early sprint in the final stage, but it's very likely that the one who comes out on top after this sprint, it's the winner of the green jersey. So.
Probably it's going to happen, and I'm just going to say that in this moment Swaxen has not his sprinter on the front, so Joe, Jakob, Dennis and Alapere have the
there's one sprint after the first two climbs, so probably the sprinter can get there because the first two climbs aren't that big.
Yeah, but a tactic of the leader in the sprint classification can be to make it tough on the first two climbs, of course, and then drop the sprinters.
Remember that finishing first to give.
I mean, it's probable that
there come the trains and the sprinters following some wheels. Interesting position.
Alapere taking the lead of the sprint right now with Rojas, but it's Joe. What was Joe?
Joe double launch again. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Let's see.
I think Jakob
Bonifazio is coming.
I think it's Alapere.
They wins the.
I think Alapere ahead of Joe, ahead of Dennis.
I think it's Alapere.
No, it's Joe winning the sprint.
I think that you should.
No. I mean, PCM
Joe winning the sprint. Can you hear me? I'm the host.
Yeah, you're the host, so you know it.
Guys, please
came from the fact that
please listen to Carlos.
Guys.
Why do we have so many?
Gracias, I'm going to silence you.
Thank you. Please listen to Carlos, guys. He is the host. His results are correct. So, Joe, what you were saying?
Joe won the sprint and basically has already won the green jersey because Jakub has only taken 6 points. That was a very bad sprint for him. And McLeod took second. No, that's not right. Bonifacio took second place for the East, but it's not enough to overtake Jakub for second place in the green jersey.
Yes, so Joe takes the first, and that is a lot of points actually. Is 50 points to Joe. That are very important points, and then the 25 go to Dennis probably, right? And Jakob will take third, but that is not certain, right, Carlos?
I think Jakub takes second, but I can't remember because Grassi was I don't know what was Grassi saying, but.
Carlos, there's 2 more intermediate sprints in the final stage.
Yeah, but one
the sprinter
can realistically sprinters fight for.
Yeah, and is it bigger than 15 points difference?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if it's 20 points. I think maybe 23.
We see an attack of Toinu.
Oh, Toinu.
Toinu going in a pen. Well, with his full team. Dennis now chasing. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that. I mean, this could be a well-timed attack, honestly. was a bit. The pace was pretty low in the
With
peloton, it
his
seems.
full team. I mean, he can join Raul in the front, and that will do some damage.
Yes,
If the two can collaborate well together, they. I mean, there will be look to Swexel and Alepero, of course.
So people are commenting that
now going with 5-man train. Very weird.
People are commenting.
Alepere and Dennis are.
By the way, if
basically
Raul...
all the big leaders are dropping back and waiting for others to do something. Maybe.
Yes, and Jakub goes on the move. Look at Jakub. That is a very interesting move as he goes with his full team to the front now. He's trying to bridge the groups. He's trying to get to Tuanu, and there he goes. He gets to Tuanu, and that is a very interesting.
This time with 4 riders. Well,
and Kumik's taking the KOM here.
But I don't think that will
and
be enough.
Raul has still 4 riders.
Yeah.
I think actually is actually
Landa 56 points. If Landa can be first in Tourmalet, he's already won this year.
Oh, and Joe with a nice move here, joining the others, and Alepero is behind. Swexel has a gap.
Joining again Dennis.
Oh well, but Alepere has all his things.
I mean Dennis.
Yeah, so he's a rider more. He's a rider more than Swexel, I think, right?
Yeah. Grassi, are you listening to me? Grassi.
Yo.
Do you have everyone unsilenced?
Oh, I have everyone. I think I hear everyone.
You hear everyone, so don't speak. Don't speak over the others.
I had Finn silenced. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So don't speak over the others and don't speak over Carlos, please. It's fine that you are there, but please be careful. So we are going to approach the Tourmalet, and do you think this difference that the front group has of 2 minutes, what do you think will happen to this difference in the Tourmalet, Carlos?
Well, I mean, everyone behind is banked up already, so no gap between people here. But Alepere is not going to let Raul take the lead of a lead, I think.
It's interesting because Alepere...
per man compared to others. But
Alepere is a rider more than...
Alepere talks.
His rider is not...
But now his rider is dead. He had to use him to get back to the group, so...
Yeah.
No, I mean, there are people here with 5 riders.
Jakub, for example.
Yes. Dennis with 5 riders, Soinu with 5 riders, Swexel has 4, Ivar has 4, and Joe has 4.
Yeah, I didn't say it, but Dennis has also 5.
Well, Joe has 4.
How many riders are still in the break?
Up front.
Yeah, one rider at the front, right?
Well,
the front
you
have 4 riders of
72 climber now, and going with the 3 riders now. But both Joe and Ivar have their puncher 2 minutes ahead of everyone, so let's see if that's enough to be something useful after 2 minutes. I don't think that will.
I don't think too. Do you think who is going to move or to at least to force the pace a bit so they drop maybe Alepere?
Alepere is already trying to.
Yes, I was expecting Alepere to do this. He knows his bar management is one of his strengths, and he probably thinks that he can top of Tourmalet with better bars or at least more riders than the others. So let us see if he can.
Having more riders, but having an advantage.
Yes. No, either an advantage on time or an advantage on riders. I think Alepere can manage to do it. The front group is now only 2 riders for Raul as he drops Valverde. That is only the 2 top riders of Raul in the front.
Yeah, it will be hard to keep this gap, I think, but he has a decent gap, of course.
Yeah, Raul is always the same. It always plays the same. Carlos can say it because Carlos plays with Raul almost every Saturday, but it's easy to see that Raul's moves are always the same, and sometimes they work. Not always, but Raul is on this final, right? So
it seems like Alepere has a gap, but Dennis will try to close it.
Yes, Dennis is not going to let Alepere go anywhere. I think it's quite.
is marking
Oh.
Dennis.
Oh, that block did not happen, luckily, because that would be disastrous.
Yeah, well, anyway, I know for a fact that Raul doesn't have a I don't know, a keyboard with numbers, so he can actually block on anyone.
Yes, Raul.
I mean, I trust Raul to not randomly block there. So yeah.
Yeah, Raul doesn't.
He's probably just focused on his main leaders.
Yes, and he has a 1 minute 40 advantage. So the advantage actually maintained more or less the same since the start. And we have a cut.
Yes.
Look at the cut.
Yeah, but the big guns are.
Jacob dropped with Joe and Ivar, but I don't think this will last.
It didn't last. As Alepere also drops a rider. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, the key in this group is if Raul can pass his 80 climber after Tourmalet or not. If he can pass it, I mean,
Swaxon with a gap, Swaxon with a gap, Swaxon with a gap.
Swaxon is trying with Yates and Thomas in his wheel, so I don't know if he's going to get Yates to the top. I doubt it. I think he will try to go along with Thomas. There he goes.
Alone. He's not. Well, I mean, he's trying to catch Raul already and just sit there, I guess, because behind everyone is slowing down to make sure their domestic pass is flying.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice you make, of course.
Yes, of course.
Ivar is going.
Ivar also going for the same.
Yeah, but Ivar is too late in my opinion.
This is very brave.
Yeah, it will be hard to catch him.
Yeah,
it's great. Yes.
Ivar is not. But Swaxon actually
taking the point for Raul.
No, Raul gets the point. Landa just blocked Thomas there.
I think it's the best for Swaxon to actually let the points for Landa in the hope that that Raul will work with him. If he takes away the points there, then.
Well, and Ivar is fucked at this point. The thing is, if he can recover all bars, he kinda saves it, but he has no climber behind to help.
I mean, he won't come back because of the worst descending stat, of course.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the key of the race right now is if Raul wants to play with Swaxon in this group, or tries to attack him, or just sit on his wheel. Because if he collaborates, Swaxon has already won the GC, of course. And at this point, it doesn't seem like he's collaborating much.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what's happening.
Interest, because if he could maintain that gap, he would improve his GC, and with the KOM, it could at least place him in a medal position.
I mean, yeah, indeed. If they manage to keep a 30 seconds to a minute gap, Raul also moves up lots in classification and has the KOM, of course, which would provide him with a potential podium.
Let me just tell you that the difference was 1 minute and 30 at the top, and now it's down to 52 seconds.
Ivar's guy is there a little bit lost in the middle of the two groups.
Yeah,
he has to draw back, but everyone still has a helper, of course, and Ivar decided to.
Ivar doesn't, so he probably made the right move.
Swaxon, you would assume Swaxon was focused, but I mean,
no, I think Swaxon's playing that card.
Swaxon is going to. Sorry,
he doesn't have
can't follow that move by Raul. I mean,
because he doesn't have a domestic.
Yeah, true.
He has more yellow bar.
Swaxon has to play it smart, so he can't follow the attack. He doesn't have a domestic. He has to pace himself.
Yeah, indeed.
That's the right thing for him right now.
But Raul has a very interesting advantage. We are talking about 1 minute in the start of Lusati then, so maybe Raul will be the stage winner, and that will give him a very good point. Maybe.
I guess they are starting to fast decline.
Yes, there goes Jakub Antonio with the move. They are trying to bridge to Raul. I don't know if they are going to get it, as Alepere takes the things more calmly with Dennis and Joe in his wheel. Also Ivar and Swaxon.
Ivar very isolated because he only has one man, no domestic. This might be tricky for him to maintain that pace.
Swaxon actually has his domestic now. That's interesting.
That's a special move.
That's the best moment for him to pace.
Yeah, he probably loses domestic earlier than the others though, but it's
If
Yeah,
he has
anyway,
more
that's
yellow bar, if he has more yellow bars with his leader and still has his domestic, there goes
Yeah.
domestic. Was still a good help, I think.
I think
it's,
yeah. Every small
It
bit
was-
helps, of course. So
it
it's
was
really good
very
he was
precious.
focused on that.
It was
Yeah.
very precious. And
That
the
was,
gap down to 50 seconds.
Also,
That
other
was-
pair helpers, so it wasn't even that big of a difference, as you see.
Alaperi was
is
attacked by
alone
Joe. Attacked by Joe Whiteley.
Expected Joe definitely needs to do something here if he still wants a shot at a medal. So because he already has points, if he can get a good GC, he might be in for either the title or a podium.
And with 6 kilometers to go, David de la Cruz is out. And there goes in the front Raul alone against
Yeah, but
the
it's
last
23 seconds. He's not gonna make it.
No, he's not going to make it. But all the others still have their domestics, so the bars were quite unequilibrated apparently. And Dennis is going to do the bridge. There you go.
Who worked in this group and who didn't.
Yeah, Dennis clearly has his domestic there because he didn't work as much as the others. Tuanu also 2 riders, and Joe Whiteley also
not
2
only
riders.
Joe, not only Dennis.
Some of these guys need to move now.
Tuanu gets his domestic out,
And Dennis is going, and Alapere is better positioned than Thomas of Swaxon.
This is the time. This is the time for the attack, and there goes Dennis with Tuanu on his wheel. He's trying. Jakub also there, and Alapere. The difference, they are still the 8 together, but Ivar is clearly.
And there's a gap. There's a small gap.
No, Ivar might not come. Yeah, Ivar is not gonna. He has to pace himself. He's not gonna come back.
1.5 kilometers. Swaxon has lost a bit of time. I don't know if he's going to be able to recover.
He's not coming back, Stockman.
Yeah, let's see. Tuanu now pacing hard. He's sprinting.
It's now
Let's see if
Alapere
it's
versus
good
Dennis
now.
for the overall GP.
Oh, terrible position for Joe. He's behind Tuanu. I don't know if he can pass him. And Jakub trying.
Alapere wins.
Alapere wins, yeah.
Alapere, amazing sprint from
Very
Alapere.
impressive.
Joe takes the second place here.
Great win for Alapere.
Well, I think Joe was blocked by Toino.
Yeah,
Yes, he was blocked by Tuanu, and
completely screwed him.
a lot of time lost for the others. And Alapere takes the general classification right now.
Swaxon move was
I think Joe
really impressive, but it just didn't work for him.
I'm sorry, I think Swaxon has just lost top 3 maybe because he didn't have a big lead.
Alapere won by margin, so he was 2 seconds behind.
So Alapere gives a giant step to become the winner of this tour. As expected, Alapere was the main favorite, and now he leads the general classification. But we still have a very tricky stage at last. And if people already let the responsibilities to Pere, they will let even more responsibilities to Pere in the last stage.
It's understandable that, and as he will have some good gap. I mean, I think over 15 seconds. So you really need to drop Alapere to beat him in GC.
It's extremely hard to do on that last stage. Like I said, it's not.
But, I mean, if people attack from far distance and collaborate,
Yes, but
it
at
may be
this
difficult
point,
for Alapere to control that.
at this point, can anyone in the lobby have the cold blood to try this? Let's see. That's the most important question. Right
Well,
now.
I mean, Raul will, but
Yeah,
it's very
absolutely.
irrelevant in the overall scheme, Raul. But
that's the problem.
but we will see when we can get to the podium and
Okay, we are just waiting on the GC. As soon as GC is shown and seen, we will go for the World Championship trailer. So viewers, get ready for that.
Guys,
because
we have the GC.
we are watching. Wait, give me a second. We are about to see the GC on live
Yeah,
stream.
the GC is already there.
Okay, here we are.
So we are going to launch now, after classifications, we are going to launch the trailer of the World Championship. But first, get us a look.
Interesting. No seconds given in this final.
moves.
Terrible.
Alapere gets robbed there. It seems Alapere got a bit robbed there
Yeah,
because
it's terrible
I mean,
for those
the one
that-
who got luck there was Saxon, clearly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sfaxon got. Now it's possible for him.
Bilbao leads the overall. No, Bilbao leads by 4 seconds over Thomas, 14 over Nibali and Pinot, 16 over Jamaica, and then 46 for Froome, 59 for
Robado.
Landa and fourth. The com is Landa leading with for Raúl, of course. Toinu in second, third for Raúl again, fourth Joe, and fifth Alepere. And in the points, it's Joe ahead of Jakub, Dennis, Alepere, and the Stockton.
Okay, we move to the Champions League trailer now.
When I said Joe in the com, it's Stockton actually. I mixed up the teams. But
yes. We understood, Carlos. Let me just a moment, because Emea was all asking a lot of times, and there we go to the 22 people watching our stream. Welcome to the World Championship. We are going to launch the trailer now. Go on.
La regista litigato.
Okay, so I expect you have liked the trailer. We can attribute the merits of this trailer to Anu, and we welcome you all in the World Championship, the biggest competition of the year, starting in 2 weeks. Be there, subscribe, and join also the teams competition. That is also a very, very interesting part. Let us be back to this tour final. Go on, Aquarius, please. Aquarius?
Yep. Yeah, we are started already. I think.
Yes. But tell us about what you were telling before. So about the classifications. What do you see? What are the moves you are seeing that could happen on this stage?
One that is not Lepere or Swaxon to attack at one point or of another. Probably Joe, Raúl, and Ivar the earliest as possible. But Dennis, Toinu, and Jakub can just wait for the final sprint. I mean, the big climb in the middle, that is Ancares, will spice things up. But the key thing there is how many people can have domestics after that climb.
I think that the most important thing right now, those that are behind, like Joe Whiteley, Ivar, and Howell is a different story because he's definitely going to do team attack at some point. But those that are behind definitely need to take the opportunity, especially on that last climb. They desperately need to do or try to do a gap, because otherwise the race is over for them. So is any chance of winning.
Yeah.
Yes, the chance of winning depends on them recovering a lot of time on the stage, and they certainly have to work for it. And
with his full team, basically.
Let's not forget that second intermediate sprint might be the decisive if any leaders are there at that point.
I mean,
Because there's a small
and the thing
difference.
is because Swaxon was finally given the same time as others.
That was lucky for him, so he might take advantage of that.
Yes, certainly it can take a small advantage there. So, yeah, Mea was not dropping, he was not looking. Smart thing, man.
Swaxon and Joe dropped.
Yeah, they dropped from the group, but I think they will re-enter.
Also Dennis. I don't know if it had to do with the Mea dropping his rider.
No, it has nothing to do with that. No,
well,
don't worry.
I mean, maybe they were behind the Mea and the split was happening there because the Mea disappeared from that.
It did. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice it. I thought it was the opposite. Okay, so we are approaching this third category climb as we know that the KOM winner will be Raul. It's strictly improbable that he loses it because Landa's advantage of 26 points looks like more than enough to go.
Well, I mean, there are 8.
Plano is already attacking.
42 points. 42 points possible in the States.
Yes, but it's certainly not probable that Pinot takes all that points. In this case, Tuanu is attacking, but Pinot is not there, so
yeah,
Pinot
the big points are in the 2 first category climbs. That are 15 points in each climb, and I'm quite sure that Raul won't be dropped in those climbs.
No, I also think you are right. And there goes Pere on the attack. Swaxon takes the mountain sprint with Peter Keno. Was not fundamental because he had barely points, and all the people that took the points here had barely points, so it doesn't matter, to be honest, to the mountain classification. So one last thing that Raul has to concern about. But he has also David de la Cruz in the 3rd place in the mountain classification. Should he make it 1-2, Carlos?
It's impossible. Otherwise, I mean, it would be very stupid by others to just let Raul take all the points. I mean, if it was if it was in the final stage, maybe he could have the chance if he attacks before the first category climb.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they will just let him go alone. I mean, others will join and will take points from him.
Okay.
But by the way, this is a very smart move by Albert. Because he has put both his puncher and his secondary climber in the breakaway.
Yes.
I don't think others will allow him to have this big of an advantage. Swaxon also has put his secondary climber there, Roinu too. So if the top 3 in GC have riders up front, well, it will be very difficult for others to drop them. So in theory, those who are way behind in GC should face this breakaway, otherwise they have no chance. Right? If Alepere and Swaxon have riders after the Ancares climb, it's over.
Yeah, definitely.
So Joe and Raul take the back positions in the group and just stay for now as everyone is back together. And this is going to be a cut for sure in the middle of the group. I don't know exactly where, but
people is trying to put himself in the front group. I mean, not very actively, but not letting people go away and free.
Yes, he is not letting people go, but Ivar is the one attacking with his full team. There goes Ivar. Ivar has not a big
others
option.
are not wanting to. Well, Tainu putting Pinot in the first group.
Well, Ivar is certainly in difficulties. He's the last one in the general classification. He has absolutely no one in the points classification as he didn't bring his sprinter. And in the mountain classification, his best rider is only 7th and far away from the top positions. So Ivar
Ivar has taken so far 0 points in the tour. And he has no way to get points apart from the GC. Or the state.
Yes.
Well, there goes Tainu for that.
Oh, Ivar stopped. Ivar stopped. That was strange. He stopped himself. He auto-blocked, and then he got Raul also in the block. So Ivar and Raul dropped from the main group.
Well, this is terrible for them. This is
Toinu
terrible.
took the points in this climb, and there goes
Yes.
Joe, attacked by Joe with his full team.
Mm-hmm. And this is quite a complicated situation for Ivar and Raul, as if the peloton accelerates, this
Well, I mean, no, but Ivar has his leader up front.
yes,
It's Raul who doesn't have anyone. I don't know what is doing Raul, to be honest.
he was blocked in a very strange way by Ivar. Was not on purpose, of course, but he got really blocked.
I assume that the typical book that you switch up the train and the one that's ahead should be behind and blocking himself.
We already have here Joe that tried to make a move, definitely trying to put our parade in some
It's going to be a very hectic space because
there goes Joe again.
Bar management is not very important. I don't think the 83 climbers need to be on the top of the game because I mean it will be very hard to drop anyone on Ancares. At least if you want to do a move till the finish line. I mean, obviously you can drop people of Ancares, but then you have.
Follows.
Yes, Carlos, let me, and Sean, let me just give the word a bit to Finn. Finn, tell us, what are you going to say?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I wasn't there since the start of the stage. Can you quick catch me up what happened?
Yes, we can. Joe Whiteley and Toinu in this moment are on the move, as a lot of people tried the move, but everyone closed. And we have a peloton of 30 people with Toinu on the move and also Joe, but Toinu has an interesting move as he brings Pinot. So he brings his general classification leader. As in the back, Raul and Ivar dropped. Raul is more than 1 minute dropped right now.
What the fuck?
So it's quite an unexpected. Even Ivar attacked Raul and Raul didn't react. He just stayed there. That's quite unexpected. We approached the intermediate sprint, only 3 kilometers to go, and I think probably Joe will take the points there. But Pinot can take a general classification bonification.
1 second.
Yes,
one precious second at this point.
Yeah, that will put him in 3rd place provisionally.
There he goes, 1 point. That is quite an interesting move. He advances from 4th to 3rd in the general classification, as he closed down the difference in Alepere for 13 seconds now. And we had a move that has put, I think Cummings won the intermediate sprint, if I'm not wrong. So he gets a lot of points. But yeah, I think it's enough. It's enough to take P4. P4 in the points, Jesse. 5th?
P5.
Yeah? Okay, sorry. I thought it was P4. I didn't saw what's happened in the peloton.
Okay, let's see when the parade of attacks that we expect are going to start. Probably next time, but it's been a hectic stage, so something might happen here.
Raul is back, apparently.
No,
he's
coming back.
I don't know if it's a very smart situation.
Maybe he was AFK after the block. I don't know. It was really weird.
Even if it got blocked, that is probable. I saw the block live, so it happened, but it reacted really, really late to it. So normally, when you get blocked, you need to react, of course, quickly, and Raul just let himself drop 1 minute and 30, and that's not very common, to be honest.
Ivar, again, setting pace. He's trying to make another gap. Toinu has 2 guys there as one.
First category climb is on the fight now. We have a lot of points to distribute. Let us see who takes them. Toinu is there fighting, at least with Ivar in the front. And they have Toinu has 5 riders and Ivar has 4. As Raul now takes the persecution in the second group. He's back. And he's back in his old style. Joe is also there, trying to cut the difference.
So now Ivar and Toinu on the move. And Raul attacks after he got dropped now?
Yeah, Joe and Raul takes on the move too, and they open. So we have 4 riders on the front and 4 riders on the back. We have Alepere, Jakub, Dennis, and Swagson right now on the back, and the others on the front in this moment. Yes, and Joe Whiteley goes hard now. Yates and Froome, the 2 leaders. There goes Joe Whiteley.
He desperately needs to try and create and establish and maintain an actual gap, because his race is over right now, and if he doesn't try something big, there's no point in trying it later, because these two climbs, this is the best place to try and save his race.
P1 for Froome in the mountain climb.
And Yates takes second.
Yes.
Pinot third, I think.
Third. That's interesting. That's some points that...
Landa leads with 82 points, 14 points behind is Pinot, and 22 points behind is Froome. So, in theory, Pinot still has a chance to win the standings if he wins in Ancares the climb and Raúl doesn't take points. Will be difficult, but it's a chance.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And that means Joe is up to P3. So we still have very interesting points there to fight for. At least P2 is completely on the air, and anyone can take it. So we are going to look up for it in the top of Ancares. And we watch as Joe's advantage is down to 30 seconds. I don't think he will pace really hard.
No, he's not gonna. He's going to wait. He got the points he wanted. I expect this next climb to be the place where big attacks will be tried.
Yes, probably they will. And how many people per team do you think will pass in the top of Ancares, Carlos?
The tire instructor need to pass with 2 riders. The others, it will be a plus to have them, but if they want to do damage to them, they can wait for their.
So you think it's
Alepere will 100% right to make
Paul is about to go, I think. He's definitely increasing. Just positioning, maybe.
He's getting ready.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go at some point, because he needs those KOM points to make sure he gets the win.
There are some people with only 3 riders on this moment, and that is quite surprising. And one of those people is Jakob. He dropped this rider without a lot of attack.
Who attacked very.
Konu doesn't surprise me because he attacked a lot. I don't know what happened to Jakob.
Yeah, that was my point.
He
I don't
may
know either.
have used it too much in some point. So.
Yeah, probably.
Otherwise, we can follow what moves everyone doing.
Yeah, we're just speculating.
Yes, there goes Raúl. There goes Raúl.
And Joe tried to follow him. Basically, his move is over.
Yeah, that wasn't a particularly
that's kind of the problem of this, that so many people need to try to do something that they cancel each other.
Yeah, they cancel each other for sure, and this is what happened here, but Raúl is still in a good position to fight for the KOM.
And we have a cut in the group. Let me just tell you, Ivar and Dennis dropped from the main group also to riders of Joe, as the others opened almost 1 minute gap, now down to 40 seconds.
Yeah, 1 minute gap, but the real gap is like 15 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. Dennis is now over with Santa Romita and goes with 3 riders. And
an interesting thing I'm seeing is that Joe is trying to play for his punter.
Yes, he is.
Kind of forgetting about GC for now.
I don't think he's forgetting. I think he has something in mind.
The big question is, but what I mean is that he's not going to be doing anything in this climb.
Yeah, that's
just that he's trying to either have his puncher there to for a possible stage win. That maybe he can. You can do anything in GC, but you can try to win the stage if you.
I think definitely that's the idea, and I think that if he tries something, he might try and distance people. For example, on that final climb, if he has enough people, try and keep the difference on the descent, and if he still has someone capable of a decent sprint, he'll take the stage and try to.
This is a very bad situation for Dennis.
Dennis got blocked hard by both Valverde and Delio Fernandez. He got really unlucky. Dennis got really hard blocked, and Raúl completely forgets about his 75-82 guy. He's completely out for the stage. Let us see what the others can do. Also,
the only 75 rider that can do something is Joe because he's playing for it. The others are not playing for it.
Yes.
Yes. All the others took a different alternative, and it could be really good for Joe.
Joe is
hoping that the race is kind of calm in the next 15 kilometers, so he can return with his puncher. Obviously, he has in that situation he has a very big chance of a stage win. That next to his points jersey win can deliver him a decent amount of points that can land him in the podium. Maybe.
Yeah. Raul will take Ancares
on the medal fight. Yeah.
So Raul
is going
steals
to win
KOM classification, yes.
But that's interesting. He dropped De La Cruz, and that means he's not going to do a 1-2 or anything. He just takes the points of KOM, and that's fine. And
That
I think Froome's.
Well, look at this. Alepera and Traxon are the two that have their domestics in the front group. Well, front group. Dennis group, but Dennis group will eventually return. So it's going to be very easy for Alepera to control this now. I mean, he just needs to make sure that Traxon doesn't win him by bonification.
Yes, it's quite interesting.
There's an intermediate sprint coming up right now, so
yeah, right now Traxon doesn't have that chance because
I mean, it's complicated because he needs to make sure that Traxon doesn't get a bonus seconds right now.
I mean, he does have that chance.
He can let others go. So ideally, you will let someone like Raul or
Ivar and Yates are bridging it
to have a little gap.
Here comes.
But the intermediate sprint gives how many seconds? 5, right?
No, 1. But the gap in GC is 2 seconds.
No, it's 4 seconds.
4 seconds. Oh, there goes Pino. Pino trying to get those seconds. And
I think Swaxon will take them. Swaxon takes him.
And Swaxon takes
for Swaxon.
And
so 2 seconds, Swaxon 2, Joe 1 second.
So that means Alepera's lead over Swaxon is now just 1 second.
No, wasn't it 4 seconds to start with?
It was 4 seconds, and now it took 3 seconds.
Oh, it's 3. Okay, then yeah.
2 seconds. I don't know. Jerry Thomas won the intermediate sprint. Well, that.
Wait, what?
It didn't look like it.
Who took the intermediate sprint, sir?
Thomas.
Thomas? Yes, it was Swaxon.
Yeah, Swaxon. That's right.
So Swaxon is 1 second away only. Gonna be a close ending.
I am not sure. Let me take a brief look at rules. Points scored for Tour. Where is the seconds, Carlos? Not sure.
What are you asking for?
Criteria if someone is tied, I think.
The seconds in the intermediate sprint, you are sure it's 3-1, right?
2 and 1.
Yeah, okay, so it's fine because Alepera is
1 second lead. Yeah.
Is complaining. That's the problem. I don't understand why he's complaining Alepera because he still has lead.
He's complaining that basically Swaxon got a lead out.
Yeah,
the intermediate sprint.
And those were 3 seconds that Alepera considers were gifted, although that wasn't the case, obviously.
Well, it's interesting that Dennis has also 2 domestics here and also Jakub. This is going to be interesting. Swaxon is trying hard to put his second domestic in. I think he will enter. Don't know the same about Twanu's one. Glad to see. And then we have the last climb of the day. It's something in play in that climb. What do you think, Carlos? Someone will try the move or what?
Well, the climb is the most irrelevant part of it because everyone can follow easily. The thing is the flat. In my opinion, or the flat after that.
Yeah, there's some good management that has to be done there.
So everyone stops a bit, everyone thinks a bit, and the only one that has no domestic there. Oh no, there are many people that has no domestic.
No, I don't think Joe has one as well.
No, Joe, Ivar, and Raul.
With his puncher, but it's too late.
Yeah.
I think Joe completely tried to do too much at the same time, and he might pay the price for it.
And there goes the attack by Mikel Landa with Chris Froome.
But Alepera quickly closes it. He's giving no room.
Oh, what a block on Tuanu by Raul. That was unfortunate.
Oh, and Raul trying to
There
get
goes Raul again. I don't know what Raul is doing because he already has assured the mountain classification and these attacks are not helping him.
He's being Raul, I guess. I don't know if he even knows that he has already assured it.
He tries to attack more and to get more points, but I think Joe Whiteley will take the second place.
Joe Whiteley will take the actual... yeah, there we go.
He takes the points and he takes the second place overall. And he celebrates.
By 1 point.
Amazing.
He celebrates there and Tuanu gets P3. And if I'm not wrong, Alepere takes P4? Not sure. Yeah.
And I think the sprint, the final sprint will be the decider of this tour between Swaxon.
Yeah, I mean, if Swaxon can get more bonus seconds than Alepere, he wins both tour and the gold medal. Otherwise, it's Alepere for the gold medal.
Yes. So it's all up to the final sprint. We have a Swaxon versus Alepere for the gold. And it all depends on just finishing ahead in the top 3, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
one finishes ahead.
The golden move will be that Joe goes and Ivar goes or someone goes. I mean, someone that is not those who are 10 seconds behind.
Yeah,
go.
I don't think Froome... Joe and Jakob are gonna...
Swaxon is controlling.
Alepere doesn't have to chase Joe. It's Swaxon to chase.
That is good for Alepere. The only one that needs to chase is Swaxon, and there he goes. He follows Jakob's attack.
And Alepere now has to close, so I don't think anyone is gonna...
There goes Raul. There goes Raul. There goes Raul. And this move, Swaxon has to close it. But he doesn't.
And Ivar goes as well. No one is giving group to the actual favorites.
And Swaxon is always reacting with his leader. Will it damage his bars? Well, I think he has more than enough.
No,
I cannot assume it's because his climber doesn't have bars.
The kind of stage it is, they definitely don't need to focus. They only need enough yellow for the sprint, so they should be fine here. Unless they manage it terribly, which I doubt, though they will be fine.
Yeah, 5 kilometers. Let us see, Swaxon or Alepere. Who will take the last gold? 4 kilometers. Let us focus on them. Both of them on the right side right now. We are going to see a fight for the stage win, but certainly we are also expecting to see
Swaxon is not in the best position right now to launch a sprint. He needs to get ahead now. He's going from the right side. Alepere is in the front. Yes,
I think Alepere will take it. I'm almost sure Alepere.
No, it's Joe.
Nibali.
Oh, Chris Froome.
And that means wins tour.
Alepere wins the tour.
Alepere is our gold medalist. Congratulations to Alepere getting his first gold in this Champions League in road. I believe it is his first gold.
Yes, there is a gold for Alepere as Swaxon takes silver. And we have a lot of... Yeah, Raul rage quitted. That's fine, we guess. And we have a very interesting result. The bronze medal, I'm not sure. Tell us, Carlos. Bronze medal.
Well, I need to calculate. I need to wait for the... I mean, for sure, I mean, might be... It's complicated because Dennis took second in the sprint. Probably Dennis because he's surely gonna finish there in GC. And he had more state points than Doinuya. I'm 90% sure that it's gonna be Dennis. And a very slim chance to Joe because he's won points jersey, but...
Okay, Aquarius will probably present the GC as soon as he has it, the final one.
Yeah, I mean, we need to wait for the state, and I have been...
Yes.
I think it was for less than half a wheel that gave the win to Alepere there. Not the win, but second. I think it was really close, and that's why
I called it as soon, even before the actual sprint was launched. Swaxon was in a terrible place.
Yeah, but the burn for Swaxon was Alepere had someone to lead him out to put him in a good position at that point.
Yes, That was his.
Thornton didn't because his rider didn't have bars. I'm not sure how he used his rider.
I think he should have followed Ali's wheel if he wasn't confident that his rider would make it, and he didn't, and his positioning ended up being terrible. And in those final meters, when the sprint is about to be launched, if you are behind, you're probably it's going to be very hard to make up for it.
Bet on the slipstream. That after all, Dennis won because he got some kind of slipstream over Alpere.
Yeah, but Dennis had a better positioning at that point, I think. So I think that's where Swaxton loses the gold. It's a shame. We would have liked to see them both side by side, and then one would have to win, obviously. But that's how things turned out, and Alpere played it very well.
So let me go real quick with the questions. Dennis, do you hear me? I don't think Dennis will. So we go to Joe for now. I will ask Dennis for the interview. Joe, are you listening to me?
I am, yes.
So Joe, you took into 3 finals and you got 0 medals. How hard is it to be the Frabo of this Champions League?
I honestly feel like you at the moment. Yeah. I don't care. To be honest. Yeah. If I make it into 3 finals, then I'm happy. I'd rather make it into 3 finals than make it into 1 final and maybe scrape a bronze medal, for example, or just an example. I'm not really bothered. I think I played well to get into all 3 finals, so I'm happy with that. I'm not really bothered that I haven't got a medal.
Do you think that this is gonna? I know you always say it's just a game, and obviously it's right. It's only a game. But do you think your confidence levels at some point will start feeling damaged over this?
No. I've been into all 3 finals. So if anything, my confidence and stuff has increased since the start of the Champions League, hasn't it? So.
You absolutely should consistency, yes, but in the decisive moments, quite the opposite. Do you expect to improve this in the World
No, I mean,
Championship?
if you look at it as a whole, you might say that, but if you actually look into the individual, stages, you think of classics. I'm not trying to make excuses. It was a mistake in my part for the first stage. Second stage, getting a double puncture, not ideal. You look at the inline. The first stage kind of got blocked. Second stage didn't play very well. Third stage played actually very well. Got 3rd and 5th bonus 3. You look here today, perfect first stage. Taking a lot of intermediate sprint points that set me up to actually take the jersey. Second stage, I mean, it was poor. I think I was trying too much too early, and I paid for that. Third stage, I think I would have actually won the third stage if I didn't get blocked on the inside. Again, that's
Quick question. Were you rooting, actually two, were you rooting for Swaxton, and do you think that him gambling it out on Slipstream was a big mistake on that final sprint?
I don't think he could have done anything else. He was never going to get away solo. In the day, it's just a PCM sprint. So anything can happen. Very good win from Dennis, by the way, in the 4th stage.
Yes, indeed. We actually talked about it. We have Ale Pereira as well, our gold medalist. We are going to go to him now. Good evening. Good night, Ale. Do you think that tonight was a well-deserved win for you?
Not really. I played pretty bad, but I think the level of the final was pretty low, except for Swaxton. Swaxton played great. But yeah, well, I think I deserved to be lucky in that last sprint because of the time gaps in the stage 3. Because let's face it, that was super lucky to be second. I don't even know how I made it. I thought Swaxton was going to win the last stage, but yeah, I got pretty lucky to win.
let me go real quick. The big dog. So Alapere, you during the stage you had you once again you criticized Danny's style of playing. Um, a lot of players in this
It
in
was
this
my
game.
bad. It was not bad to criticize Dennis. It was my
What?
fault.
I
In
didn't.
second stage, I asked him for relays in Mortial stand, and he was just waiting for his 75 mountain, and it was a smart move by him. So it was me that didn't realize what was happening in the race. So it was on me to complain about Dennis. Then in the final, I really thought he got a smooth ride all day, and he should have got more bar. I thought he was better than Soxon and me in the final, so I expected him to deliver in the last sprint, but I was clearly wrong.
So this was, let us say, a bittersweet ending for your World Championship.
I was a cheat ending.
It was you took the gold medal. You joined Leo Falandri and Pithi as the road gold medalists of this Champions League. What is your final statements about the competition and how it worked for you and how it worked in general?
I don't know, man. I have feelings. I don't know, good feelings, bad feelings. I really disliked some parts. I really like other ones. I don't know. I don't know what to say really, because today, the stage I won, I didn't understand a fuck of what was happening. Like, I was being closed by both Dennis and Toino, and then Swaxon went and they didn't close on him, like they closed on me. I was left with all the responsibility in the stand, what I am not complaining about it, it's normal. But then, what happened in the last climb, uh, I'm still shocked because I didn't understand a single of what happened. I don't even know how I won that. Yeah.
So thank you for your declarations. You are certainly not euphoric about your gold medal, but you should
Wow.
be. After all, you did. You clearly beat everyone else in the points today, and you got a good result.
I think the points don't reflect the real performance. I think Saxon played really really well, and of course it doesn't reflect in the fact that he was beaten by Dennis. I think Saxon was the only one who had a chance of winning today, as well as me. So it was only a two-man game. Yeah, I think he got pretty lucky in stage 3, but pretty unlucky in stage 4. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Alapere, and let us pass to Dennis, the silver medalist, and a bit surprising, let us say, you were a bit disappeared during all the stage, Dennis, and at the end of the day, you took P2. What are your feelings about the final results?
Ciao, Guy. Not bad, not good. It's a normal night. I didn't see the stage before the 9 of tonight, so I didn't try it. I did some errors, but a nice result. So, a nice medal.
Do you think this final had a lot of talent? What is your feeling about the other players that were playing the final with you? Did you think they played well, bad?
Yes, Super House go to attack on all stage was very very funny, and Alepere and Swag did a very very good GC. So good game for all. It's a very good night. A nice print of Joe in the first stage. So a nice night for all players, I think.
It was certainly the stream tell me
Sí,
how
sí,
many?
estaba, no sé, a ver, cállate y te explico. Ahora sí que se escucha ahora.
Y antes, ¿cuánto tiempo no llevas
Yo
escuchando?
qué sé, he dejado,
How,
pues no sé, hace rato.
so did you heard any interviews before Ale Perez one, for example?
Yo qué sé, tío, me las he quitado hace rato y ahora lo he puesto y no escucha.
Vale.
We can
Ahora
ask
sí que se escucha de nuevo.
Apparently it should work.
Stino,
Venga tú, suerte.
how long did you listen to interviews? Did you hear Ale Perez?
I'm asking him.
Trying to get confirmation.
So Stino is going to answer me. So just a moment. Sorry, I want to know how many interviews did we lost.
I thought you were going to say that I lost the bronze medal for a minute.
So did I.
Oh, we lost half of Danny's interview and Swaxon's interview.
Okay, that's not that bad.
It's not terrible. So welcome back, guys. Sorry for the cut. So sorry for Danny, but let us start with Swaxon. So Swaxon, repeat to us. I'm really sorry. What are your feelings about tonight?
I did feel like I had to get a medal, like having come into like all the finals on all the TTs, all like the main road finals. I said to myself, minimum 2 medals, absolute minimum would be 2 medals, and one of them had to be in the big 3. So that's what I felt. I did feel a bit of pressure because I was only on 1, and it was a TT medal, so an ITT. So I had to I knew I had to try and go for the medal, at least get a medal, go for the gold where possible. Didn't pay off, but the GC. But I mean, I will thank the PCM gods. Later, I will. after they've treated me like an absolute dick in like certain events in like semi-final race 1. I'm at least a little bit happier that I've got like a second medal in there.
Before the actual broadcast was interrupted for a bit, I was asking you how exactly is your motivation right now, because there were some expectations about what you and Joe could do. There was some hype. I wouldn't say like they're going to win everything hype, but there was some hype. Joe failed to deliver according to that hype because he got no medals. In the big 3, you only got 1. It was bronze. How does this affect your motivation going into the actual World Championships?
Oh no, motivation would be high regard. I think even if I got no medal, I think even like I'm like even if I didn't get a medal, I knew my motivation would be high, because if I didn't, what would happen is that I would be like determined to get like absolutely smash the World Cup. Not like that. That's only then you'll probably see a bit more of an anger in me, almost like this will be my time.
As someone that actually knows you well, I know that you are a competitor at heart. So I wish you the best of luck for the World Championships, and I do believe that you will be ready for those. Thank you, and congratulations for bronze.
Let me just congratulations, Swaxon, and let me just really quick finish with an interesting interview. We are going to interview the UCI president, Emir. Hello, Emir.
Hello all, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you with your beautiful voice. So tell us, Emir, about the organization part and about what happened here in the Champions League. Do you like the competition? Do you like how it happened? Do you like everything in general that this competition bring to the PCM community? Tell us.
I want to congratulate all the organization for bringing us this wonderful second edition of the Champions League. Unfortunately, Italians didn't win anything on road, so they will pay for it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, at least Frabo didn't win anything on road, and that is good. So I'm still waiting my €1,000 on my bank account that Guifiti promised me for streaming the finals.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
And it was indeed a good edition. I hope this will not be the last edition of the Champions League, because like in 2016, because when we started the project, everyone was gone after 1 year, and that will continue in the next year.
Emma, let me just ask you real quickly. Did you like the work that us as casters and streamers did here?
The work I do for you, I mean, because nobody
No,
was
no,
there.
no. I was talking more about the commentators and the other streamers. I know you also did some good work, and thank you for that. But I was talking about the others as well, the ones that did comments and streams.
I'm so happy that I hope that there will be streamers for Data Cup starting from tomorrow.
I mean, you always know that if you need
If
some
we are
help, you
lucky,
can
the
always call
streamers
me.
don't stick in the group for 10 kilometers.
I love you,
I'll fuck up
man.
the team time trial because he abandoned his riders.
So let me just finish this for tonight. I thank Sean and Finn and Ruben for being here in the streaming today. I thank everyone that was on the interviews, and also Emil for helping. He really helped on these streams too. And finally, I want to say thanks to Ruben and Joe for helping in the organization. Of course, a special thanks to Carlos, because without him, anything of this would be possible. And in that sense, the Champions League is over. This was my first big tournament that I organized. I made many mistakes, but for sure I learned some lessons for the next ones, and I hope you all liked it, because we gave our best during these 2 weeks, and certainly without this wonderful organization, anything would be possible. So thank you all, and I will say goodbye to the stream and to the Champions League. See you in the World Championship in 2 years. Goodbye, guys.
Good night.